Yo! Sorry.
I really hope that got in there. I really hope
did.
that got in there.
It didn't.
Dang it.
I'm not doing it. You can't make me.
Oh, that's fair. No, you have your throat's
I
right.
got it.
I did the
So-
yo for everyone.
Hooray.
So, hi, folks. I'm sick today, and so is Dino because that's how sickness works.
Okay, who in this call is not sick? God dang.
I am healthy. I'm
not
well.
letting it affect this, but on the
She-
bright side,
Physically.
I was gonna say she's sick as hell though.
Hey,
She's
look at
sick
this
as hell.
god over here with the good physical health. Get it, boys.
on the bright side, this particular timbre of my voice has made it a lot easier for me to do my Kehoe voice for Lackadaisy if I ever needed to. This is kind of the region I go with them. And, oh God, it's effortless when I'm like this.
It just does that.
It is kind of funny how like when you have certain conditions, it's like, oh hey, I wake up and for some reason my voice is way deeper, like
you
just
wanna hear
regular
some-
talking.
JD, you wanna hear some fun voice actor trivia real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've played Deus Ex Human Evolution, right?
Yeah.
I have.
Did you play the sequel?
I've played.
Yes.
I've played. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
The one that's
did
in
you
Europe.
Ever... Yeah, the one that's in Prague. Yeah. Did you ever wonder why Jensen's voice sounds different in the sequel? Because it's the same voice actor. He
No.
did the entire first game with a throat infection.
Oh.
Oh.
Oof.
I wonder
Why
why
he
he
sounds like that.
and they just went with it.
Yeah. And then in the sequel, they're just like, all right, now try and sound like you have a throat infection. I love voice acting, dude. It's so full of just shenaniganry like that. My God.
It's shenanigan top to bottom. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Voice acting is an interesting career for sure.
Yeah. God, I gotta make a new demo reel. I got chewed out by a casting director the other day. Ugh.
So I need to show this to you of like the situation I'm in right now. I'm gonna send this to the side chat real quick. Oh, I need to log in to do that. Hold on. My cat is standing in front of both of my monitors right now and is refusing to move. She has effectively completely disabled my ability to not only play the game, but also to do any work at the same time.
Peak cat behavior.
Very multi-talented.
It's a thing we like to call theater of the mind.
It's why the other one is my favorite yet again.
You know, you gotta stop doing that. Like, she's a good girl. She just is kind
I'm
of a
not
bitch
saying-
sometimes.
Well, yeah, that's why I like the other one. She's still a good girl, but she a bitch.
Same.
All right,
Also,
think I've
Jade,
had you guys.
Jade, I think he might have mentioned this last time, but I've been going through Outer Wilds bit by bit.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it's like, it both irritates me and I like the exploration part.
Good,
After
good.
I-
he hates
after
the
I-
timer. So yeah,
Yeah.
check the new world.
No, that's
chat.
fair.
multi-talented, multi-screen blocker. Yeah.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Oh,
Get out of the way.
Jade. Good,
I'm
good
Jade.
development, by the way.
Hmm.
So, remember how my CPU was dying?
Uh-huh.
Did it
So,
die?
I had to completely reinstall my BIOS, but it should be working fine now. So
Oh.
it shouldn't
Boy.
have any more crashing issues.
Yay, question mark?
Yay, question mark. Yeah, it turns out Intel just put out a really bad CPU, and so Asus was just like, alright, we're gonna release a BIOS update that forces the motherboard to fix it.
That actually makes sense. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, you are all sitting in a guardhouse, having just drank a couple of concoctions, and the guard is sitting at the same table as you all, and he says, "Well, that's about 10 minutes. You should be good to go. Here, take these cards." And hands out a small card to each of you with that has a couple of arcane marks on it and places for identification, and says, "Just put your mark here," tapping down at one of the corners. "If you don't know how to make your mark, we can get you a stamp. Otherwise, there's a quill right there. This will get you food, board, but no line of credit, so no stores. And just so you know, probably most of the food stalls won't take it. Once you get into the town proper, if you get citizenship, then you'll get a line of credit that you can then just use the card to buy at the stores. You can do that for either academic or adventure or any various professions. But for now, this is what you got." And he hands a card to each of you.
Okay.
Okay.
As you first.
Sorry, Discord delay, fun. Yeah, so Sova's gonna squint. She's gonna grab the quill, and making the assumption she's going to write her name in the corner. Remember that Soba's language is pictographic, so it is a picture of a skull with a sword behind it.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's a hieroglyph. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I don't know why I thought it would be anything else. That's perfect for Soba.
Yeah. It's like she's gonna assume they mean name, so she writes her name.
And make your mark is sign your name in it, but dating back to a time period before people regularly knew that could sign their name. It would commonly just make an X. But yeah, it means sign your name. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if
You
you're like
didn't even know this.
Shakespeare's oldest daughter, who was illiterate, she would draw a little pig.
Oh.
That's not a joke. We actually have records of it, and it is really good. And she would just do it in like 3 seconds, apparently.
Yeah.
That makes
You
sense.
do it enough.
There's a very interesting opportunity we have here, morally speaking, as he says, looking down at the paper. But I'm not sure if that would be a good time to do this sort of thing, as he looks down and says, considering that all of this is an illusion, with the room, board, as well as technically the laws here, I imagine someone would feel tempted to have a experimentation of nihilistic morality, as he kind of makes a broad gesture with his hands as he looks at the rest of you and just kind of, not that I would want to enact upon those kinds of things, just more of a acknowledging that there's a possibility to have that kind of thing in an illusion like this, and I marvel at what other lesser scrupulous people would do in this situation. That is not me.
Delicately worded.
We're a gaggle of above scrupulous people. More scrupulous. What are
Super
words?
scrupulous.
Soupulous. I have soup.
Superheroes, even.
Well, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, like I said, localization's day after tomorrow. That'll be your first chance.
The scrupulous few. By the way, Jade, I cannot seem to find the game on the tabletop sim
Join
video.
Thirsty and Friends.
Yeah,
oh
just
yeah, I keep forgetting.
we're
that.
friends. But we're friends.
Are we though, Jade? Are we?
I hope so.
No, we are in fact enemies.
I will bite you
feel
then.
like in a moment
I've
of
been playing the long game this whole time.
Sorry, what was that, Sprig?
I feel like in a moment of morbid curiosity, Cece is going to tinker a little bit with this card because, like, she's not a mage anymore, but she still has the same kind of, like, she's
Senses?
still a person that is deeply curious.
Yes.
So I feel like this is a kind of magic from an eon, like ages before she was ever born, that, like, never would have reached the university where she was educated. So, you know, seeing magic being cast, it's not that different from what she sees normally. A business card that you assign your mark to that's a, like, form of identification from a forgotten empire, she's gotta take a look.
Absolutely. Give me an Arcana.
Actually, I was going to make an order check.
Okay. Give me Arcana.
What kind of check was she making?
26.
26. She was making an order check. The skill that she got when she got blessed, let's say, by the Madron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Tibium. Yeah,
Mhm.
the skill she got from the Tibium.
Yeah. At a 26 Arcana. So, you know the spell Arcane Mark that doesn't, like, actually, you know, let you track something down, but it lets you recognize that something is yours, sort of thing? That is to this as a Model T is to a modern car. This is a series of layered, ordered, sequenced arcane marks to create a unique signature that can be read by someone who has the skill, an equal level of skill as the crafter. Making it the equivalent of, you know, of a state ID.
Okay.
Oh god. It's like someone from first edition getting time travel to
Excuse me
fifth
for a second, I have to go.
edition and being like magic missile. I remember that one.
I'll be right back. I gotta go get some water.
Arcane Mark is still in 5th, right?
Someone running 3.5 edition playing this game's like, I understood that reference.
I mean, it's been a theme that the Ancient Civilization has had a bunch of stuff from 1st and 2nd and 3rd edition. Like, that's been a running theme, you know? The Scroll of Permanency, Greater Wish, and, like, yeah. Not the only theme, obviously, but, like, yeah, that's been a running theme of their technology as a mastery of older arts that are now used as simple tricks, but they refined as the technology of magic applied to them.
I once made a friendly Lich NPC who only cast spells from 2nd edition. That was fun.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds pretty good.
I had to
Well-
go back and research the spells from 2nd edition. It was amazing.
2nd edition spellcasting was dumb.
A wee bit. Mostly because of the way the experience system worked, but that's tied to another day, shall we?
Yeah.
Well, if you're all set here, you can head out of the guardhouse and into the city.
All right, then. Will you be accompanying us this whole time, or...?
Do I need to?
No, of course not. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. I'm gonna roll his insight check if I've got one.
Sure.
Perception.
Yeah, it's Pathfinder. It's all perception.
Right.
I miss insight.
My brain keeps going like, oh no, I have to do my perception check. I don't have a lot of wisdom. Oh wait, my entire class revolves around perception. That was a mistake. Alright, where's my character sheet? Sorry, I'm pulling it up. I apologize that I'm making unpleasant noises as
No, it's
opposed
fine.
to making the pleasant noises I normally do.
You are always pleasant as a person.
Yeah, I'm in the back over here like, oh, look at how charismatic my voice is today.
You're fine, you're beautiful, don't worry about it.
I'm the prettiest princess. Now I need more cigarettes.
I have provided witness testimony that of quite the opposite lately. I could very easily walk into the other room and show to Dictator here that I'm a mess. All right, I've got my skill thing here. Here we go. Do I see 2?
I see it, in fact, every day.
That is a 10. I got a 21.
Okay. That was made as a playful jest. He's expecting you to just go around the city and wander.
Okay.
He's you know what, for 21 I'll give you a bit more. He is yeah. He's chalking up your nerves and fish out of water actions and attitude towards being foreigners rather than recognizing this as a grand illusion or what have. He's looking at this and being like, they're out of towners. They don't know local customs. So he's not applying any shade or a suspicion to that beyond. They'll be fine.
Weirdo tourists.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, refugees in this case is his thought process.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, just had to check.
In any case, we are now in that state where we're heading outside, and I guess we're walking about the cobblestone.
Yes.
Okay,
This is a much larger city, just for reference, but this is sort of Final Fantasy style, where this represents a large capital city, just scaled down to the buildings that might be relevant to you guys.
Now, when you say Final Fantasy, which one are we talking?
1 through 6, where a town
Okay,
of 2,000 is represented by 8 buildings.
Because if we were Final Fantasy X, I would be concerned given the nature of the story of that game, as I bring up to everyone else. So I have a bit of a question here, and feel free to shut this down to philosophy brain. I'm curious as to the nature of this illusion magic. Is this just a recreation of the events that happen in our immutable, or is our meddling going to directly affect the timeline? These things, it's good to at least ask those kinds of questions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? As I turn over to Sprig, and I said, so what do you think? How much timey-wimey are we dealing with here?
I suspect this is more just an illusion than it is time dilation.
An illusion that showcases from a certain period.
Sorry.
Hey, Walnut.
Okay?
Sorry.
Time dilation
What
is another
happened?
Final Fantasy reference, so
Oh my god.
we're going Final Fantasy 8, actually. No, we're not.
Yes.
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 So if I look out through the gate that we came in,
Mhm.
do I see the ruined swamp area that we came in from, or does it look different?
When you walk through the gate, turning around and looking back, you can see what the view would have been from the gate. So you see rolling hills and meadows. You see cobblestone and path with a couple of dirt trails going off in different directions. You see that a separate blacksmith outside the city and its connections to the gate. And if you want to jump up with Flicker, I'll just give this to you for free. Then you will be able to see in the distance a coastline, like a sharp coastline of it, rather than the modern delta foot coastline, a beached coastline.
Okay, so I have an idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around. Is there any, like, decently, like, hardy stone around? Like something that, like, doesn't erode, like a limestone or something? Like,
I mean,
you know, like just like a rock. Just
Yeah.
I'm not gonna overdo it. Like a really nice rock.
Yeah, you can find a cobble.
All right. I'm gonna pick it up.
Okay.
And I'm going to carve on. And Soba's going to carve her name into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's gonna huck it over the wall.
Anything over the wall will have hit the same barrier that you guys came in the way in, so it will actually just bounce and fall back in.
Okay, she's gonna catch it. And
You can send it out
she's
the gate,
going
though.
to- Huh?
Sorry, the gate is where the access point of it is.
Oh, she's gonna huck it out the gate then.
Yeah, okay. I figured that, but I just wanted to clarify that there is that force field around the walls going up in a bubble over the city. Out the gate, that's fine. It skitters and clinks down the road. Roll me a perception. And how far are you hucking this thing?
I'll do that.
So, Soba's gonna huck it, like, not like full, I'm going to kill a Final Fantasy protagonist huck, but like, enough that it is outside the gate. Like, where
I got
like,
it.
she'd be able to find it.
I got an 18.
Okay. 18?
Yeah, that is a, 5 plus 11, that's a 16 for me.
Okay. I'm going to decline. That is not a good enough check for those.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Good.
If anyone else wants to roll, you
I was gonna
can.
say-
But yeah, I'll tell you right now, the DC for that is 20.
I was gonna say that Soba tries to, follow, like, it's like, Soba assumes that if we walked in here, we could walk out. Soba's going to take a step outside of the gate and go to where she threw the stone and see if the stone is there in the present and if it's aged.
Okay. You find the stone. It has not aged, and it is exactly as you wrote on it. A few moments later, another one of those illusory pulses that happen outside of the city comes by. And you see the stone a little bit to the side of where you threw your stone, because it bounced differently in the illusion than it did in reality.
Oh. Soba's going to run back in, and she's going to say, "Okay." So,
Okay, so
Soba has solved case.
Okay.
This is, yes, time travel, but time travel to alternate timeline. In our timeline, different us go back.
I
So
do
what you're
not
saying-
think that's how that works.
Soba threw stone. Stone landed where Soba saw. City pulse. Different stone. Soba pulls up the second stone. Look, see? Slightly different. Soba does not
It's-
sign her name left-handed.
It's more likely that that stone is just the same stone but looks different in the illusion here.
Arcana. Sorry, Arcana or Order.
Okay.
I'll Arcana.
I'll Arcana.
Oh, that was for him. Okay.
That's for anybody who wants to.
Woohoo!
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do Arcana.
Soba visibly saw timeline change. Do not fuck with Soba.
32.
Nice. One of the
Let
rocks
me
in.
check mine.
Sure.
27 Arcana.
Okay. Yep. 25 plus was target, and 32 is great. is plus success or whatever. The one of the stones in Soba's hand is real. The other one is illusion. There's not two stones, though they are both tangible and right now.
There is the possibility. I'm gonna weave a bit of a tinfoil hat here in this one. There's a possibility. As he puts up both hands as he holds the two rocks from that Soba had been given. It's like, well, one being an illusion and one very clearly not being one. It is entirely possible that while to us this has all been an illusion, to them we are the illusion that has been able to peer back into this. Thus, maybe if some of our influences are being able to be that are affecting the timeline might also, in fact, be an illusion. To be congruent with our illusion, thus being able to maintain, and you watch as like a small drip of blood starts to leak from one of his noses, from his nostrils.
Cue the Pepe Sylvia board.
I have a question because I wasn't here when this was decided. When we found those documents, one of the documents I asked for was an almanac. Did we get an almanac or did we get like something else?
I believe we did.
Okay. Do we have the almanac?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
Soba's going to Soba's gonna like just kind of like go into whoever's bag, like literally just grab whoever has it, reach in, pull it out, hand it to Rodolak, and go, look in here, see if anything is different.
It's really not.
No, going forward. Like, if we do something that changes something or fucks something up,
we'll be able to
this
annotate
is an ongoing thing. Like, yeah,
Got
like
it.
We have.
Got it.
We have. It's not a sports almanac, but it is an almanac. So
I have a perfect way to keep track of this. I'm going to roll my lore check, and I'm going to pair that with my skill. That's odd. So I have so I keep track of all the stuff that was, and will be in this almanac, and I can be able to notice if something is different each time.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting time travel to be a potential thing, but I'm very glad I asked for an almanac now.
That is a 19. Should I probably roll again?
Feel free. That is.
I've got a lore check. I can switch to Arcana on this one. That is a critical failure.
Do you
Yikes.
Keep eye out
do you
for
want me to help?
silver metal carrier.
Do you want me to help you out?
I'm going to use my platinum token because this feels like a
Already?
really important
Goodness.
thing to have already. I know. Given my dice rolls, I just rolled a critical failure on this thing. I got to do it.
Yeah.
So I roll my lore check.
There you
we
go.
go. That is a 32.
All right. I will keep that in mind and notify you should something irrelevant change.
Something relevant or something irrelevant?
Something interesting.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, I was waiting for you to say yes.
But I will also for that I will give you that you can somehow pinpoint the time and date, or not the time. Well, you can pinpoint the date with the almanac.
well, Jade, I'm going to argue that this would actually be possible because almanacs track weather conditions and sun cycles and stuff like that. So,
Yep.
literally by just looking up at the sky, he could cross-reference it and get a date. Holy shit, we could actually figure out the date on this stuff.
Yep. Also, one other thing. The paperwork that we just signed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had to there had to have been a date on it, correct?
No.
No.
But you do have the date because of the almanac, because you rolled really, really well there. So you do have the date because of the almanac.
Okay.
The card does not have a date.
42nd of Smarch.
The card. Okay, actually, you know what? I'll
March weather.
after 2 weeks, the magic holding together the card will fray, and you will need a new issuance.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like, a calendar date. It's the card's good until it's not good, at which point it's not good anymore.
I get the feeling that this society, for all of like the magic and everything, a large portion of the populace is probably not literate. Like just based on like evidence you've given us so far, like a lot of this feels like a pre-literate society.
I mean, they had a library.
They had a library and they did make us sign paperwork, but that is also a good point. It's entirely possible that a very specific percentage of the population is literate and the percentage of it is not.
Yeah, like the fact that he said make your mark and not sign your name implies that the understanding is that people have a sigil and not a name, which is usually what was done.
Make a cross.
before
Make
literacy.
an X here, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, like literally that is like, I don't know if Jade did this on purpose, but that is like back in like medieval Europe when like literacy rate was like, are you in the priesthood, yes or no? Like yeah, like that is about the time period where that is where that is done.
I'll go ahead and answer that for you under the assumption that you're talking while walking around town and sort of getting a feel for the city.
Yeah, translate it to Sobaese.
Yeah,
Sobies, as it were.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna say that, you know,
not stupid. She just doesn't speak English very well.
as you walk around various places with services and such, I will tell you that it is not that the culture is illiterate, rather that there is a diversity of literacy in the culture. That is to say, not everybody is, and it's not necessarily expected that somebody is, but
Okay.
yeah, some are, some aren't.
American South. Got
It's not. It is not destigmatized to be illiterate because it means that you studied other things. That's the answer.
Okay.
Unless you're one of them lazy layabouts that loaf around everywhere.
I mean, when books were new, people thought that people that read books were lazy, so...
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I
true.
still think-
Oh, when standardized spelling came out, it was okay. Oh, could I real quick? With like, this is my favorite like
Oh, please.
medieval thing. When
Please.
Okay, so y'all have seen old timey English, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And how it was spelt phonetically, so the spelling depended on your accent.
One that a little shows a sort of the drought of marsh hath pierced into the root.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I hate that I understood that, dude. Alright, so
That
alright,
sounded
so
like
the,
tap dancing to me.
Yeah, no, that's just how English used to sound. Back when the British Crown standardized like spelling, it was actually considered a conspiracy, like literally deep state conspiracy stuff, like in like the medieval ages. It's absolutely insane. It's like they're trying to take away our cultural heritage. They're trying to homogenize. They wouldn't have used the word homogenize. They're trying to homogenize us all, so they can rule us. Like it's like, my guy, you're in a total monarchy. Does not matter.
May I give you a counter?
This just makes paperwork easier to read. Yeah, sorry.
Can I give you a counterpoint?
Yeah.
Rome already did that by taking over areas and forcing them to speak Latin, and which as a type of colonization. So like that's not an unfounded fear historically.
I mean, yes, but the people that were making this complaint at the time would not have been aware of Rome. They would have been like,
Maybe.
Yeah, some of our town names are like really weird and have sounds that are not native to our language. But whatever.
Heck, we did that to First Nations people.
Yeah.
I mean, English people did that to people on their own island.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. Well-founded fear. I'm gonna say that's. I'm gonna leave it at that. Well-founded fear.
Well-founded fear, but they would not have it. Bear in mind also
Yeah.
that the ruling class at the time was more or less like ethnically French. So there was also a lot of anti-French racism.
Like Scots and other Scots, they ruined Scotland. Damn them.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Sorry.
I would like to know, and remember, this is a bit of a cooperative world building in this game. I want to know where you guys would like to go or see in the city as you wander about.
I guess the marketplace to find any interesting trinkets. Well, I guess to see any interesting trinkets, and maybe either the blacksmith or something equivalent of a more interesting blacksmith.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't want to straight up say inventor, because inventors usually don't just have a stall that's easy to find.
I got an idea. I would
Oh,
like
I'm
to
getting like
recall. I would like to recall knowledge to remember what the Gripply were in this society,
Oh,
and if they
Oh.
were. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we should go and look at the livestock.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll preempt you on that and say that you do see people, not everybody, but, maybe 15% or so of the people walking by are either have a large frog in their arms or hopping next to them, or a large crow on their shoulder. Some sort of pet.
All right,
They seem to be treated well.
I'm going to take some time to people watch to discern the cultural and class difference between the people with the crows and the people with the frogs, or if it's just a matter of taste.
It appears to be mostly a matter of taste, but there's a slight skew to higher class for the people who have Gripply. Though that may simply be because it is easy. It is harder to. It would be more expensive to care for a Gripply than it would be to care for a crow.
Oh.
It's not like a strict divide though or anything.
Stupid birds are former underclass that rose up against oppressors and became oppressors.
Oh my god.
Oh. Kobold respects them even less now.
I didn't think that was possible.
As he blinks, it's like
Kobold just learned about negative integers. Change his entire life.
as he blinks and looks at the at Soba and says, "Wait, the crows are the Gripply? Because wouldn't that imply that the Gripply are like the landed gentry in this hypothetical you're weaving?"
Yes.
So your respect for the Gripply has reduced, not the crows.
No, respect for crows. Gripply being overclass of pet, kind of bad, but they're not anymore. Stupid birds become bigger, like top, big, strong when they become, intelligent. And then they start, they start abusing the Gripply. They became the very thing they sought to destroy.
I don't think they sought to destroy this, Soba.
And they probably sought to not be pets of poor people. Soba would rather be pet of rich lady. Pet Soba's head, give her treats.
I'm just imagining just this hypothetical that Soba is weaving of like how things went down, being like, okay, here's how it worked. Back in day, they used to both be pets. One was rich pet, one was poor pet. But then magic and evolution gave birds the fingers, and he comes over and says, "I am taking your soup," and then they took the frog soup.
It's exactly
they are now the
Soba's thought
oppressor.
process. Yes.
It's just like. And Soba like, are there any questions? And Rodolak raised the hand. It's like, where does the soup get in on? Where did the soup come in during all of this?
Soba's hungry.
And Soba like says, if Soba has to explain soup, you need to go back to school.
That's better, yeah.
I'm more
I
curious.
like to think that Soba is actually pretty intelligent. It's just like her poor grasp of English.
Then Flicker just like raises his hand. I'm more curious where she learned about class divides.
Soba's tribe has a long and bloody history.
It's too dark and tragic to get into now.
Save that for later, when we come
Where
up
do
with
you
it.
think Soba's people first got corpses to practice necromancy?
So it looks like the frogs and the crows here are not.
First person to find a Karl Marx name with a D&D pun built into it. Just send it in chat, please. I want to see it. Sorry, do go on.
All right, do you want it to be like a specific flavor, like elven, dwarvish, whatever, or is just any...
I just think it's gonna be funny. That's literally as far as my thought process is going on this.
Okay, first thing that I would like to do. I've got a thing that I want to do in addition. Like, since you already answered my people watching thing, why don't we do Flicker's thing first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So Flicker.
Yeah.
You do find, while walking around, a couple of little workshops, but there is a smithy. this is just the one that came with the map. It is actually a linked forge like the one that you have in Lanfell. It's actually very similar to the one you have in Lanfell, if not a little slightly smaller.
Linked as in like it has that like cooling area.
Yep, it has a different part of the building on the side that is with a cooling area that has that has a smoldering fire burning in it.
Didn't we just wait? There's a smoldering fire in the cooling area.
Yeah, it's transferring the heat from the colder area to the warmer area.
Ah, that's not something we managed to do it back home, did we? As in the hometown.
Mhm.
Okay, time to ask about that, I guess.
Okay. Oh no, you actually did do that. That's how you learned how to work Tibium.
Ah, okay.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
it's
it's
been a while.
it has been, but no, you guys actually did figure that out on your own. I was very proud of all of you.
It was that part of the process was to to open the room up to later use.
Mm-hmm.
We made it so that it was able to go colder first. So
Yeah.
that we could freeze blocks of water to put into cold rooms underground that wouldn't melt super quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
And
wait,
then
hang on a
once
minute.
we
These
had made the ice, we could then start using the second room.
Mm-hmm.
these little model guys, they're like the alpha World of Warcraft human models. What the?
Yes, they are.
Oh my god.
A lot of this is World of Warcraft stuff.
Yeah.
Here.
Like I said, I didn't want to break myself making a map that nobody could see, right? So I just used someone else's work on this. I have no shame.
Normally I would have offered help, but I have been busy, so.
No, completely fine. Anyways, though, what are you looking at the forge?
Looking for any like interesting like smelting techniques or just general stuff that might help me like have my stuff not blow up in my face, or at least survive the blowing up in my face, so I have less to repair.
Roll me
Essentially
crafting.
making my okay.
Nice.
18 plus 17. I'm pretty sure that takes the cake.
Okay.
Oh, do not take the cake. It is for sharing.
So even though it's underneath his shirt, you can sense it as much as feel it. The blacksmith is wearing a pendant of protection from heat, and it is shining so brightly that you can almost see it from beneath the leathers. That is how he's able to withstand the obscene heat of the forge. They are working with metals almost like a glassblower would.
I see. Interesting. I think, given my ancestry, I would be more resilient by default, but I don't. But that's more warm than even I could handle. I'm guessing.
Yeah. I mean, this one has, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, interesting. That's how you're able to resist the heat.
Ah, you got an interest in forging?
Oh, I'm a bit of a inventor myself, with some major interest in metal crafting.
Oh yeah. Good to hear.
What did you say? Sorry.
I'm a scientist myself.
Yeah.
I'm on the science team.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Well, good to hear. Always good to have another soul.
I do have a lot of my parts are usually fairly small and interlocking. So seeing this technique is pretty interesting. It's almost like you're using it as glass rather than regular metal crafting.
Yeah, we heat it up hard enough, and you can stretch it out, and do what you want to do with it. Sometimes we fold it over a few times if it needs to be strengthened. Usually don't need to for most works, though. Other times it needs to be thinned out. You just get it real thick like taffy, you know. Pull it out, stretch it, put it back in the heat. Works. It does wonders for it.
Oh, the
forbidden
grain on
taffy.
this metal must suck. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm just gonna wave my hand and say it's magic. I just think this is funny that they do it this way.
Yeah. It is stylistically really cool. It's just the different temperatures that you get steel to affects what, like, chemical composition your steel ends up at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like on paper it sounds interesting. It's kind of like when someone says, this sword is the strongest sword ever, made of pure obsidian. I give you good price. And everyone, like the people who are like more fantasy minded are like, ooh, fancy. The person who's the actual blacksmith is like, no.
Yeah, no, this is...
Obsidian would shatter in one hit.
Yeah, well, if you're using obsidian, you're making a macahuatl, so, like, yeah, but, like, I'm going for...
Mahawattles are mostly wood.
Or unless it's unless it's Minecraft obsidian. That should
No,
last.
this is gold armor is an upgrade to silver levels of fantasy that I'm operating on right now, okay? Just work with me, people.
Yeah.
I'm working with you. I'm just like, whoa.
But no, you are absolutely correct, but I thought this would be a cool idea, so I'm rolling with it.
Obsidian
No,
sounds
it is a
cool.
cool idea.
Obsidian
Oh, wait,
sounds
Dave.
cooler
If
than
you have the
iron.
magic that you can just change the chemistry after the
Uh-huh.
fact, you're not using the heat for the chemistry.
No,
Mhm,
I have another option. Jade, these
Huh.
people, their blacksmith works off of the same logic that Shien works off of in our timeline. It's not meant to last a long time or be good. It's supposed to last for maybe like 6 months and you buy another one. It's cheap. Fast fashion, but for swords.
When I worked at the dinner theater, we had a saying: "It needs to look good from afar, even if it's far from good." Good times.
Wait, hang on. Jade,
Hi.
are we aware of there being any other civilizations on the continent when these people were doing their thing?
You are not.
If they're the only, like, major civilization, then their weapons could just suck. And, like, there's, like, and, like, they wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Kind of
Yeah,
like
if
Japan. Kind of like Japan.
Yeah, if everyone's using, like, dog shit weapons that, like, probably would not be able to, like, survive, like, someone breathing on it the wrong way. That's, like, you know what I mean? Like, Japan
I
got
do.
away with that for years.
Because they were mostly infighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't have any quality iron to speak of.
My sword breaks in 3 hits, so does mine.
Yeah, mine breaks in 4. It's a legendary weapon.
Your guys' swords break? Says the European.
Yeah, right. But anyways, no. Because magic and because it's cool. Rule of cool is in full effect here. So.
No, go for it. And then I just thought it was really funny. Like my
No, it's fair.
blacksmith.
It's so fair.
Obsidian just sounds cooler than iron or steel.
I'm going to say something. I think that we should have more fantasy obsidian weapons that are just like makuatzels, fucking like wood or some other metal with like obsidian nails in it, basically.
Absolutely. I think it's a cool design.
Yeah.
You can't beat the old school of board with a nail in it.
Speaking of, let me take weapon proficiency at Lotto.
I think one of the most interesting designs of weapon that I know of is the Kapinga, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah.
That
Kapinga.
is
I
just
love
such
it.
a
Yeah.
that is a very silly name, but I love it. It can mean it can mean something very not for say on this
Oh,
platform,
yeah, those.
but it still sounds funny.
Here.
Anyways.
Also got the Mum Bailey, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, Flicker does like take that interest and like studies how he's like molding around the stuff
Mhm.
for his like own, putting together gears in like very
Mhm.
specific shapes, so he can just
Yeah.
much like Lego, he can assemble his stuff
Mhm.
with special parts that are no other Lego set and can only come with certain special things.
Man,
I
using
will-
the Star Wars Millennium Falcon set combined with the Hogwarts Castle set.
Yeah.
I will say though, he's not really working on weapons so much. It's mostly tools, and
I mean, tools is good too.
and he is casting,
Ooh.
not magic.
Oh. Oh.
Casting as in he's pouring the liquid metal into a
Oh.
mold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking it was that, but I was
Oh,
like,
I hate these people. Oh my god, I'm glad they're dead.
what you hate him because he's doing mass production?
No, I hate them because like I'm so like I know like Jade's trying to make this cool and it is cool.
Yes.
But like I really like blacksmithing. I actually wanted to be a blacksmith when I was a kid, so I learned way too much. And like this is making me like actively like go.
No, it's just more that casting is a more advanced technology than you would generally associate with people of this era.
That's true.
That's all I'm going for.
Yeah, like we live I mean like yeah we use it for like pans and stuff in the modern day. We don't really use it for anything use functional though.
Yeah, but in the early times it was used for things like gears and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And it was also used for casting bronze in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is true. Yeah, bronze you kind of have to. Yeah, no, you're right on bronze. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways,
What materials do you usually work with? Flicker asks him, I guess.
it depends on the client. Some people need simple iron. Some people need something fancier. If it gets too fancy, I send it over to one of the goldsmiths. Usually just repair pieces for gears and tools and whatnots.
Oh, the whatnots. So that's obvious.
Very important, the whatnots and the bing bongs and the
Mhm.
curmudgeons.
Yeah.
Who's it?
Whatchamacallits. Do you have any specialty tools by any chance? I'm always interested in expanding my available tool sets.
Oh yeah. He shows you his array of hammers, some of which have fun and interesting designs that can hammer at better angles with like with an offset head, or something of that nature. He just gives you a general idea of some of the stuff that he uses.
Flicker is studying them because he knows he can't just buy one here.
True.
It would be quite a ripoff, quite frankly. So he's just like studying it for later use.
I feel like if we're gonna talk about like eccentric hammers that he would have, absolutely he's gotta have a dog's head rounding hammer.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what? A dog head rounding hammer?
So a rounding hammer is when it has a rounded face, so it's very aggressively hammers. Material. And a dog's head hammer is when your hammer head is offset to one side of the handle and it's like much longer on one face than it is on the other. They often also have an angled or curved handle too. So it's like, this is a hammer that is hitting like moves material way faster than it ever should for the size of hammer that it is.
Ah, okay.
I saw a blacksmith on YouTube once. He got like sent one by a fan. It's like, all right, make a knife with this, and like the guy broke down in tears by the end. He's like, I don't know how to use this hammer.
I'm gonna put a picture in the. This isn't a rounding hammer, but this is an example of a. It's a stitching hammer. It's a dog's head stitching hammer.
Oh, wow.
That looks wrong, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, so basically if you, instead of having that flat face on the lower front, it would be rounded the whole way over. It would be a dog's head rounding hammer.
Like a what is it? The ball hammers, the ball beans.
Yeah, it's not quite a ball peen, but it's similar. Ball peen is like a more aggressive rounding than a rounding hammer.
Yeah. That makes sense.
The fact you can use ball peen hammers to dismantle doors in Project Zombie, that ooh.
Haha, peen.
Okay.
You were saying it so much, I had to do it.
Fair.
I'm just glad that we've been brought back to the proper level.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. So, where else would you like to go in town?
This to me or to anyone else?
I had an idea of something I'd like to look at.
And to anyone, yeah. But okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Just real quick, I'm going to run the assumption that a party is moving together and not
Yeah.
separating. Just because I'm throwing it out there, so anyone can chip in at any point for any of this.
All right. I happen to notice that there are a bunch of carts a bunch of food carts and goods carts on the right side, but on the left side they appear to be constructing a new statue of the king. I'm going to assume that the photo bucket circlet on his head is not actually there, but I do like the idea that it just kind of wraps around his head like a crown.
I'm not gonna lie. When she threw the rock earlier, I wanted her to ask, does it have the holy symbol of a photo bucket?
This building has it right on the front. I just have to say that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Proudly host.
Yep.
Proudly host. Proudly
I
host.
swear. I
I'm
swear.
going to sketch out this statue, and I want to draw attention to two things. One, based on the way that it's positioned, I'd like to assume that when they're done with this statue, they'll be working on a similar decoration on the other side.
Okay. So you're just gonna sit down with it with some paper and charcoal.
Yeah.
I will advise that you use your own paper and charcoal for obvious reasons.
Yes, which I will.
He'll borrow some.
I'd also like to draw. I'd like to analyze the shape of the sword that he's holding.
Okay,
And
so well,
is it-
let me paint you a better picture, because again, this is they are building a large statue. The
Yes.
statue is not of a warrior. It is not with a sword and shield. It is rather with a scepter and and a hand across the chest. There is a crown that is still being worked on, but the centerpiece of the crown is a large red gem surrounded by blue and green ones that are moving off to the sides, with a bit of filigree and what's the proper word? Not lace work, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Not sure. but-
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes.
I know what you mean.
I guess building doesn't seem right.
I can't think of anything else for.
I'm gonna take a moment to check the ground around the statue to see if they had if the statue's a replacement or a new construction entirely.
Sure.
19. So 30.
So a lot.
Yeah.
This is a new construction.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to assume that this is of the new king, the good king, or
Gerald.
based on the almanac. Would I be able to determine if the ritual has already happened, or if this is like a couple of days before said ritual?
Oh, this is. I guess I could have mentioned that earlier, but I guess I wasn't asked. You are currently about 300 years into the reign of the Good King.
Okay, so before the ritual.
No.
So
Well
300 years.
after the ritual.
Okay.
Well
so
after the
300
ritual
years-
by.
Well after the ritual. All right. thank
Yes.
you. All right then.
After the ritual by a decent chunk.
Given the scepter, I know I'm making a lot of assumptions based off of based off of what's being built here and all that stuff. Would I be able to infer if the scepter is like a magical scepter, or if it was like just going to be just an artistic depiction of a regular scepter he has? Just so
Symbol
I
of-
know a little bit more about the king.
Yeah, it's symbol of leadership type scepter.
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was, if it's representing something enchanted or not, of course, not by the statue, but yeah.
All right. Last piece of this is that based on what I know about the Good King, I'm going to use my the almanac and my lore check to see if there's anything inconsistent with my understanding of the Good King and what's being portrayed here in the statue.
Okay.
Is his height different, or is his race different, or is he,
The height of the
looking
statue is
healthier?
significantly larger.
Very funny. Okay, that is a 29.
Okay. The inconsistency from what you know of the Good King in his writings and more less from the almanac and more from his writings is that it seems odd that the Good King would erect a statue.
That's what I was thinking.
The Chancellor, however,
Yeah, the Chancellor absolutely would have erected it as a symbol.
What chancellors do.
So, I am gonna have a conversation with the guy that's like the crane operator over there.
mm-hmm.
I says, "My goodness, that's an impressive-looking statue. Who commissioned this wonderful piece of art?"
Oh, it came from the crown.
The crown, you say? I
Yeah.
didn't think the good king was that kind of had that kind of vanity.
Scarcely. But from what I hear, he fought against it tooth and nail. Chancellor won him over after nigh on 200 years.
200.
Yep.
The chancellor had that long?
Stubborn old git.
How long do these guys are tieflings, right?
No, Gith.
Yes.
Gith, sorry, these guys are Gith. How long do Gith live?
Roughly equivalent to elves.
Okay.
So,
Longer than
Yeah.
us, at least.
like 300-ish, or about 300 to 700-ish. Elves are closer to 1,000, but, in that range.
Talk about job security.
Right?
I suppose the chancellor is getting a lot out of seeing one of these things erected, though I'm surprised he didn't end up trying to commission one of himself.
Nah, not his style.
Really?
He'd break any head for the king, including his own.
We certainly hope it doesn't come to that.
Nah. It's a good time of peace. Where you all come from, then? He immediately clocks you as foreigners by the questioning. And by your races, but yes, that aside. There are some non-Gith walking around, though they are significantly less common, less represented.
Oh, we're part of the newly minted Department of Happenstance over by the commissioned by the Good King to make sure the shipment goes okay.
Oh,
Your statue is looking quite fantastic.
Well, thank you kindly.
Deception roll to deflect that, because I know that if he spends more than 15 seconds on that, that's going to be very, very strange. Of what
there
I
will be
just
more
said.
questions then.
All right, that's a 25 deception.
Okay, good. You're fine.
It's like, we're from the newly minted Department of Happenstance. But absolutely phenomenal work on your on the statue, good sir. Keep up the good work.
Thank you kindly.
As I go back to the rest of the party, it's like, okay, what do we know about this Chancellor fellow?
Nothing.
Sidebar, I feel compelled to point out, I'm looking at my character sheet right now, and I'm getting a small laugh that it's saying that I'm currently on page 580 out of 4.
That's a lot of character.
Character has layers.
Hey, like
Thread.
an onion.
How do we get to the thread that had all the information in it?
Yeah, what you do is you click
Oh,
on the
there it
little
is.
spool at the top. There you go.
Good. Got it.
I'm gonna...
Oh, that's how you access threads. Sweet.
Yes, the Chancellor, Grigor Sali, is what you know about him is from the letters that's at the very bottom of this. That's about all you know about him, though.
Okay, so... He's sworn fealty... In the last letter that we saw from him, it said that he had been established to... Like, the conversation that we got about the Chancellor was, at its latest, 70 years ago, and we're currently at 300.
Right.
So... Alright. So... I don't want to immediately pull up the red flag on this thing, but do you think that there's a possibility that this Chancellor might have influenced the king gradually over the years, or had done something that in the ritual allowed him to slowly start influencing his missives? I'm going to check the almanac, and I want to do a lore check here.
Okay.
In pairing with that's odd, and I'm going to be trying to use a that's odd thing here based on like what happens and all of this stuff.
You've already rolled very high on that, so let me know what you're asking first before I make you roll for it.
Is there an inconsistency between the benevolent laws the Good King had before the ritual and the missives that have been going out afterwards? Considering that this...
Sorry.
Okay. Well, considering that we've just had evidence of a construction that he never would have allowed during his time as Good King, but has been kind of swayed over after a couple hundred years.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is like a small-scale kind of thing, but like, is there more depictions of deification of this king as time has gone on after this ritual? Like statues built in his honor, like things more to build him up much bigger to society than normal. I'm trying to determine if this Chancellor is pulling a worm tongue.
He's not.
Okay.
I'm just going to give that to you for free. No. Nothing. There's nothing that indicates anything of that nature. Rather the opposite. Rather, it looks like the king would not speak his own praises, so and the Chancellor speaks the king's praises for him.
Okay. All right, then. All right, so it's entirely possible... I turn back to the rest of them, the rest of the party, as I was saying, I have a bit of a small theory.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the person who, in the rituals that it said, or in the text that we had gotten, that the, what was it? One of his sons usurped him at some point. Yeah, I'm speaking on, in hushed tones right now.
Okay, good.
I believe it was Jusoic.
Jusoic, yes.
Perhaps Jusoic had been starting to build some kind, had been slowly trying to build some kind of, to sow a little bit of dissent so that if he decided to take power, it would be more accepted. And perhaps the Chancellor was doing these things in a hope to remind people that the good king is in fact still good.
Hmm.
Do you think it might have been like a counter-insurgents campaign to build these statues? Amongst other things.
I think that statues would be an odd way to go about it.
I think it would be like a small piece of a much bigger puzzle.
Yeah.
We'd have to learn a little bit more about like how they've been celebrating the king or what the general opinion is of them. But I could be also spinning my wheels here. I don't know what the purpose of this illusion is and what event is supposed to occur. But I'll to refer to the almanac. Is there something dramatic that happens in the next couple of days that would be relevant to this illusion? Because I'm at this point where I'm grasping for straws a little bit.
There is not. In fact, this appears to be a time of peace and prosperity. There is no dramatic events other than this being a time where the I wouldn't necessarily say the height, because that can mean different things to different people. But the almanac would definitely cite this as a time of peace and prosperity of the country. And with peace and prosperity comes uneventfulness.
Oh, they're 2 years into a term.
Hmm?
Sorry. Bad joke. Abort joke.
Okay.
Okay, so this might be stupid for me to say, but maybe whoever cast this spell was here for the nostalgia of good times?
Or what if something bad happened like immediately after and they tried to Bill Murray it?
Maybe, but I mean, like, we'll consider the fact that Gith live very long, very, very long lives. Do you think it's possible that the illusion might be maintained for the benefit of a particularly old Gith looking for positive times of their king? I'm sorry, that's a stupid question. That's a stupid
That would be
proposal.
my
Dumb
first assumption,
roguelike.
actually.
What?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
No, not completely. If I had the power to make something like this, I probably would have done it a long time ago.
Soba raises her hand and she goes, "How long do Gith live?"
Oh, they probably live for about as long as elves do.
So yes. Answer is yes on duration.
Yeah, but we're
So
talking
it's
about
like-
we're not even sure like how long it would be. This could be like an epoch from hundreds of thousands of years ago. We couldn't be possibly certain that it's just some one old git watching reruns.
Oh no!
So we're just trying to think, right? Soba failed
what is-
illusion class. Do illusions dispel when you die?
I'm just imagining this really old gith in the back palace looking out at the sunset. And everybody's like, "Is everything okay, sir?" And he's just like, "Pepperidge Farm remembers."
Oh my god.
To answer your question, Soba, when you are working the weave of magic, it is fairly difficult to tie it off. That's what you do when you make an enchanted weapon or a scroll, is you're tying off the magic so that it's self-sustaining and can self-perpetuate. That's a fairly hard thing to do, and things like illusion magic generally, yes, would go away on someone's death.
Soba, like, blinks slowly as if she's hearing the word of God and goes, guys, Soba does not mean to alarm you, but this guy might be here somewhere. We might be intruding on somebody's copy of The Breakfast Club on VHS.
I have several questions. One, what is the Breakfast Club, and can I have some? 2, what is a VHS?
VHS is a format that lost out to Betamax. I don't know why we're still talking about it.
What
True.
is a Betamax?
I want to
media
backronym VHS into something.
Go for it.
Okay. It is a volatile handheld stone. It is a small rock that you smack yourself in the head with, and the enchantment gives you a concussion that also plays back a stage play.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of the time I gave a party a Vorpal rock.
Well, then, if that's the case, I look to Soba and says, well, if that's the case, then I think what this and speaking metaphorically speaking here, I think what this little tape might need is a few seconds of Tyler Durden's pornography.
Soba pulls out the scissors.
If at the very least to draw a little bit of attention, that something might not be quite right. It might be able to draw him out a little bit.
So, Soba's gonna think for a moment. She's going to reach down and pick up another cobble. She's going to look to the statue, look to the rock, Soba throw.
Maybe not that drastic. We need something that's enough for it to feel peculiar, not not like he's under attack.
Looks at a window, Soba throw.
Something a little bit more than that. I think.
I'm just imagining like the classic, like a couple of small rocks and then followed by a cart or something breaching from the window.
Let's try and.
I can't pick up a cart.
I know, that's why I said that.
I look at Soba, and then I look over Soba's shoulder at the carts across the way, and Rodalak says, perhaps we should test the waters on how far these ripples can go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to stop you there. There's no way Rodalak can look over Soba's shoulder.
I mean, I can look on the other side.
No. Soba's doing the thing like she's a kindergarten teacher talking to a child. Like she's like kind of squatting.
Crouched under, like squatting a bit. Slavic
she's like
squat
hunched over
style.
like 4 times.
Oh, that's perfect.
All right, so I'm going to walk over to the fruit cart. And I'm going to look over at the fruit cart guy, and I'm going to glance over, and I'm going to look over, and I'm going to say, how's business been going, good sir?
What? Sorry. I'll say it's a woman there, and who goes, "Doing well.
Oh,
Doing well. Good season this year."
It's a very excellent season, but I have to express, I almost did not notice your fruit cart here.
Really?
Yes, as he gestures to the tree, that tree is casting so much shade on your cart. I almost glanced it by for the food cart nearby. You have such colorful tarps and stuff. It would be brought out much more brilliantly if you had a little bit of more sun. As he looks over and points at the king statue and says, "You know, the left side of that king statue, the statue is made of such alabaster material that it would bounce the light beautifully off of your cart and would look really good and draw so much attention to you." I'm going to roll diplomacy.
Sure, by all means.
We're so lucky to pick up tree. That was not a character.
That is a 20.
You're so right. You know, my cart actually used to be over there. They had me move when they started construction. I didn't mind so much, but you are right about the tree. A better lighting would be a delight.
Well then, what if we tried to move your cart back over there? I mean, clearly there is a little bit of room that you could have in that little space. And if not, well, maybe we could try and see if we could do a do a little tree pruning, as it were.
I do like this idea, but maybe when they finish construction, I think. Right now they're a bit busy over there. I wouldn't want to get in anybody's way.
Oh, you leave that to me. I've got some connections with the king. I'm sure he wouldn't mind having his brilliant statue festooned with the bright and colorful celebratory tarps of your fruit cart. And of course, some people will walk over to you, grab a nice shiny pear, take a bite into it, and say, that statue is looking quite brilliant. I'm glad that I got to enjoy some fruit right next to it.
This is where the lady goes, what the hell is a pear?
I'm sure pears have been invented here.
Inventing pears.
I mean, the GM can invent them whenever she wishes.
So basically,
Nah.
I'm using diplomacy to move the fruit cart to a different place.
Mhm.
This guy's been doing this for so long. If that happened, he might possibly catch his attention.
Okay.
Okay, counterpoint, this guy might not have autism, Magus.
Impossible. This sounds very unlikely.
I just like Soba being like, Soba doubts old Gith has autism, and I look and says, of all the different timelines that he could have, of all the different periods in time that he chose the one where literally nothing is happening.
Soba does not see a single train. If Soba could make illusions, Soba would put a train.
Have trains been invented? Had trains? Well, I mean, according to this almanac, trains aren't invented for quite a good time. So then, what did autistic people do before trains?
Actually,
Soba-
though, hang on.
Soba is not escaping the allegations, though, that's for sure.
I made
Oh my
I
god,
made
that's
some back
awful!
home.
I'm so sorry, chat.
I made some in my room back home.
Oh my god. Okay. As someone with autism, I'm saying, one, nah, you get the pass if you don't. but like, fucking... Yeah, I'm like going through like all of like the like special interests that are common, and I'm like, history. History was not really a thing yet, so like, can't focus on that. World War II. World War II didn't happen yet. Trains didn't happen yet. What did they do?
What about
Guns
jousting?
didn't exist yet. Swords, maybe?
Poetry.
Jousting, poetry.
Polearm?
My average. That is my average question about like regular people in history. It's like, okay, you guys got the booze, you
I'll
got
be
the work,
right
you got
back.
the sleep, you got the food, but it's like, what do you do when it's like not the time, or you don't got the
I mean-
money for any of those?
A common
Maybe
autistic
I'm-
pastime
ahead.
pastime of that time was being stoned for being a changeling.
I mean, yeah.
You
Besides
know what?
that,
Yeah, you know, there's a lot more room for special interests when that stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
plus everyone was too poor to afford hobbies that aren't just beer or
No.
other people.
I do appreciate that you had a thought about this, and it was, what did people used to be autistic about?
And I also like philosophy.
Curious, really.
Yeah. Philosophy, early Enlightenment thinking. Someone who could actually do philosophy as a career would might be drawn to that.
Probably, yeah.
Things like that.
Man, early autists had it rough.
Mhm.
They were the pioneers.
No, they were more accepted by society and not shamed for hyper focusing on things. So I actually don't think they wouldn't say they have it rough. I would say that we've structured a society that's more hostile to them nowadays than they had back then.
No. That wasn't what I was referring to. I was referring to.
Oh,
what
no
their
trains.
No.
Special interest
Yeah, fair.
choices were.
Okay, yeah, fair.
I mean-
Anyways.
You could always be transgender and be praised as an oracle and just get high all day.
Or get a lot of exercise because people are constantly running you out.
No, transgender people have mostly been more accepted throughout history. Vikings had transgender women to stay at home and do woman work when they went out to raid. Rome had a transgender empress.
Whoa. Really?
Yep,
Yeah,
Egalibus. Egalibus
yeah.
literally demanded that the Roman Senate use she/her pronouns when referring to her. Historians are conflicted about what this might mean.
Oh no, Jade, you forgot the best part. Literally, I put out a bounty to every alchemist or scientist or doctor or wizard. Literally the words used, or like the translation of the words used, for anybody that could give her a vagina.
Bottom surgery.
Yeah.
And that was the bounty equivalent of like multiple millions of dollars today.
Yeah.
Also, speaking
Okay.
of special interests, once we're done with this, Flicker does have like one more place he would like to see around this place before we, make progress.
I need to point out, and I'm gonna say this very quietly. As I went down to go grab my drink, grab like a drink or a small snack, I asked my roommate what he would think of what would be a thing that would happen before trains and all that stuff, and he suggested dinosaurs. And he
We only discovered dinosaurs after trains.
true.
Yeah.
Hang on.
He did express
hang on.
He did express that like there were some aspects of like dragon bones that people associated with with
Yes.
dragons, with dinosaurs with
Yeah.
dragon
I was
bones.
about to say that, yeah. Oh my god, the early autistic people would have been obsessed with dragons!
And at the same time,
Yeah.
That's why
They
there's
still
so
are.
much culture and history around dragons.
and that's
Oh my
why
god!
and that's why I'm just thinking in the back of my head, roommate, you really like dinosaurs. You're not escaping the allegations here. I did not see
The more
that.
things change, the more they stay the same. Oh my god.
Amazing. Okay. Let's return to game.
Anyway, let's do Magus's thing here, and then there's like one more thing I kind of want to do with Flicker, if
Sure.
possible.
I did my thing. Did that work? Did we move the fruit cart?
Pending, we can abstract the busy work of getting clearance on the other side of the place, but yes.
Okay. Now it's very much
We'll just
a,
pretend this stands.
I know I did the equivalent of I moved the couch to see if my husband has noticed that I've done something to the house,
Yeah.
but I'm hopeful that this will pay off. But anyway, Flicker, what do you want to do? Because this might take a little time for him to notice something's happened.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Flicker would also probably be interested in would be the toy workshops or toy stores. Probably both in the same building, actually. The more I think about it,
So what was it again?
a toy workshop / store
Okay. Yeah, it would be the same.
to see how. Because you can learn a lot about a society through how what they do for their kids or what they make for their kids. Plus, he just wants to see for more inspirations, really.
Children long for the mines.
And really, it's not just what they do for children, it's what they do for fun and what they do for toys.
Yep.
My partner just shouted from the other room, no they don't, when I said that.
What? Wait,
I
what
said
did you
the
say?
children long for the mines, and I just hear my partner in the other room, no they don't!
Look, Minecraft is the most played video game of all time.
Exactly.
Yeah. They long for the mine and the redstone network.
There is a sports store here as well, which would be relevant to what you were talking about. But you do find a toy store that has mostly hobbying kits, mostly things of like whittling packs and some with instructions and silhouettes, so you could, to match your creation against the silhouette to try to work on it. That tends to be
this
a
entire culture had autism. They're just making gunpla. I'm sorry, Jade. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
they're encouraging people to create.
Yeah.
As well as there being sport stuff, as well as the normal expected things of dolls, soldiers, and things and wagons and the normal toy fare that's been around for all every culture, right?
I see.
I
So
am curious about exotic sport because there's a lot of weird sports out there if you look for them.
Mm-hmm.
Curious if they had any weird sports.
I mean, with that, like, the simple description, it's like, okay, like, the toys are, like, a bit more normal than I thought, but the creative side here with the whittling kits and the like is an interesting find. It's a more free, it's a more, how should I put it, more thinky, it's smarter, slightly smarter society if they have creative toys for early ages.
Yeah. A lot of the instructions are done in pictograph rather than text.
Ooh,
I haven't.
I show that to Soba. What do you make of this?
She squints at it. She's like, Soba cannot read this.
I haven't really thought too much about the sport, Sprig, so I'm just gonna say it's lacrosse and keep it moving.
Oh my god. Lacrosse on motorcycles.
You know, there is a unique sport that I researched a while back that I had adopted for my D&D campaign. I'll talk about that just really quick if you don't mind.
Please.
Is it Death Ball?
No, it's called Snow Snake.
Oh, okay.
So Snow Snake is a game in a sport where you take like long wooden poles, basically a stick that you carve and whittle and maintain yourself throughout the year. And then in the winter time, the point of Snow Snake is to throw your stick the furthest without ending up point down in the snow. So the most efficient way to do it was basically to spin and hammer throw it as close to parallel to the snow level as you can. So that when it lands, it slides as though a snake slithering in the snow.
That rules. I love that.
Yeah, it's just a cool sport.
And
Okay, Jay, when you said that rules, that sounded like a canned clip you had ready. That rule.
Soundboarding.
If you look back through history, it is actually really fun to look at the origin of sports. Did you know that soccer, it comes from a time in British history where they were at war with the Dutch?
And there was I know for a fact that it was also much more violent.
there's
a-
so the
No,
the idea was that children would go to battlefields and they would find a head and they would kick it around. And the original word literally translates to kicking the Dutchman.
Wholesome.
there's
Yep.
there's a town in England that still practices an older version of soccer where the whole town is just kicking a ball and the whole town is like the field, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yep. Yeah.
Right, so- sorry.
You do it through your entire no. Yep, sorry.
Well, does Sober CC have anywhere that they would like to explore? Or create to explore, I should say.
So the Kenku had to get their necromancy from somewhere, and we know that these people did. Soba's going to look and see if she can find any, like, I guess, like, I don't know, like an arcanism or something, like, like something, like, if she can figure out, like, well, what the Kenku's, like, necromancy comes from, she's, like, like, she can probably better combat it. She is still a necromancer hunter at heart.
Roll occult.
Okay. that is a 15 plus 9. That is a 22.
You find what you're looking for, not where you're looking for it. Your sense of feeling a little bit of necromantic energy, just very faintly, triggers while walking by a jewelry store.
Every kill begins with K. Soba's gonna like just kind of like stop in and like have a like see if she could like find the source, because that confused the hell out of her. Also the fact that jewelry stores exist, because that's why not just make own jewelry like Soba does.
A very quick aside, by the way, my chats are giving me a hydrate or dihydrate for everybody.
Okay.
Oh, I just ran out of.
I got nothing.
I ran out of fluids.
I guess I will dihydrate.
I will go
Rip.
downstairs and grab my water bottle.
Can you grab mine and fill it up?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you come in here and grab mine to fill it up? Mine's
Fine.
out.
It's they're one of the types of gems they're selling are what you've have been referring to as Gripply gems.
Do the regular Gripply gems, like, is it the same or is it like different?
The bloodstones.
Yes. Like, are they like, because the Gripply gems didn't set off my spidey sense, did they? Or did they? I don't remember.
Very subtly. It is blood magic, which is not necromancy per se, though it is related.
It's adjacent.
Yeah. So does
So
it
this is just kinda
does
like
it
a
trigger
spell.
this is necromancy? No, it does not. But is it a wait a minute? That's the vibe. Is a wait, hold on.
Okay.
So is it
So,
necromancy exactly? No. Do you want you could certainly talk to the shop owner if you'd like.
Soba's I actually have no idea how to talk to like a jewelry store as Soba.
That's half the fun.
Yeah, Soba's going to talk to the person. She's very confused. She's like internally she's like, where are the bones? Like
Hello.
all her jewelry has like bones in it.
Mhm.
But she will like go to the lady and she's like she looks visibly uncomfortable and goes, Soba has a question.
How can I help you?
He points to the blood gem and goes, that one. Tell Soba about this one.
Oh, well, see, that's a mock-up of the kind that we can make. These are usually used for... Well, I suppose you have someone special in mind, then. So what we would do is we would take... you would go down to one of the offerings locations yourself and get the blood gem, and then we can set it for you in whatever style so you can give it to your lover, if that's what you're interested in.
Oh. Okay. Soba will consider this.
Mm-hmm.
Soba's going to go now. Just immediately just turns and walks, almost bumps her head on the door jam. She's so uncomfortable. Soba what was the other one? She's like, everyone, Gripply blood gems are a weird sex thing.
You're gonna have to narrow that one down. Could you clarify?
Soba went into a jewelry store and they said that the stones, they put them in jewelry and give them to people they have sex with.
Could that be a translation error? Maybe they mean to, someone they love very much, or how is it administered?
Soba blinks. They said lover, not life mate. Implies casual.
Yes. Well, I mean, the nomenclature can sometimes be a little wobbly between translations. In some cultures, lover and life mate are one and the same.
That's weird. You're weird.
Because, like, the idea of just when someone says it is for sex thing, and I'm like, how is it administered? Like, Rodolak has a brief thought of how is it administered, and he, like, has the gesture of, like, the okay in one hand and his finger extended in the other, and kind of, like, stares at the two pieces, trying to piece that together.
Very, very, very painfully, or they mush it into and snort it. Mush it into dust and snort it.
Or Soba supposes you could put multiple on a string. I'm sorry, I didn't really think
These gems. How small are these gems?
They vary in size. The bigger ones are like about the size of your thumb.
God dang.
Oh,
You,
God.
Jade, I can't reply to that on air.
True.
See, I love writing like Soba's culture behind the scenes, because then like whenever like Soba tracks with a cultural thing, I need to be like, all right, how does this go to Soba's culture, and then how does it go to the regular culture?
CC.
He's like,
Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought you were. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
That was seen. My bad.
yeah, so yeah, no, you're fine. But yeah, so just to finish the thought, Soba's going to like look toward and be like, but still, it is kind of weird that the pets wind up using a symbol of life matetude as just everyday like wish granting. Yes, is that weird?
That is a little weird, yes.
Sorry, Jake.
You're saying
They
this.
seem to be...
We went off into the weeds a little.
Yeah,
It's fine.
go ahead.
I just wanted to check that are you saying this like off to the side again, or are you still like what? So I was saying this at the shop.
That's an
Saying,
excellent question,
no, I'm
Soba.
outside. I walked out of the shop to be with everyone.
Right. I just want to double check.
Yeah.
It's the idea of just Soba coming up and like, fluffy dog, sex makes babies.
What?
That's how it works normally, yes.
Oh my
CC
God.
Cost, do you have anything you wanted to visit or create?
CC, anything?
I kind of had an idea, but I didn't think it would really fit that well. I think the Arcanium was actually an interesting spot to go and take a look at, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
love
So
that
I
word.
brought it up before.
Mm-hmm. You do. So tell me about the Arcanium that you're interested in. Are you looking for like a shop that sells magic trinkets? Are you looking for a library or Athenarium? Or are you looking for studies?
I
Are you?
think she'd want to look at, like, for
Crafters?
a place of learning first.
Okay. You'll be able to find an Athenarium. Or, yeah, Athenaeum, rather. If I want to pronounce it correctly. Which I suppose I do.
Do you though?
It's good. There's a first time for everything.
There's, yeah. There are classes going on in various little... It's sitting on the floor in different sections with little short walls around them. People just sitting in discussion. It's the discussion group type of education, rather than the teacher dictates the type of education we have in more modern settings. More of the Socrates talking to some students vibe, rather than, modern professor.
Yeah, I feel like she'll drop in to see what's being discussed, especially for, like, a place that's, as far as we're aware, at least functionally 100% illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Flicker would probably be interested in that as well.
of the classes that are going on right there, one is mostly discussing farming techniques. Another is going over a 101 level of magic that even you would be, that even though it's a different type of magic, that you'd be like, yeah, I know, sort of thing. And what is the third class topic?
Ethics and law.
Honestly, yeah. There's the philosophy and ethics would be very appropriate. Sorry, it's all that CC pick though.
I was about to
Fair,
say,
fair.
I feel like the early days of biology would be an interesting conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the
Early-
early studies of biology and like crop selection and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the farming one would be talking about crop selections and
Yeah, I was
rotations.
about to say.
So in terms of that go, they favor efficiency of land use, i.e., things like Three Sisters and other stacked crops that support each other. And what was the other thing? Biology, right? And yes, there is a.
Biology, ethics, and law were the two main subjects.
Mm-hmm. The biology one does catch your ear because they are talking about biology of a location that is what's the phrase? Island biology, where things develop in a unique way to the areas that are surrounding it. And you notice out of the corner of your ear, as it were, a reference to, because this area is impossible to scry, it has not been spoiled by as many other cultures as most planes are.
Basically casually dropping knowledge that, like, they've traversed other planes.
Mm-hmm. And with the attitude of, well, yeah, okay, that makes sense from the students, because that is something that they take as a given, which is important for the context, right?
Yep. Important context that we have learned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. These are illegal aliens.
I mean,
We kind of.
is there anything else you'd like to do there, Sprig? Or CZ?
I suppose not really.
Okay. Koss, do you have anything to explore?
No, you guys have gone to all the places that I wanted to.
Fair.
Ooh, do they have a zoo of some sort? That sounds fun.
We saw the animals we were looking for just kind of everywhere, so.
I'm going to say not in the city, not inside the city walls, so to speak. Is there a zoo? Yes.
I see.
But there might be some taxiderm inside of the Athenaeum, but like
That might
know.
actually be worthwhile to see what other critters are in this region, I guess.
okay.
That might actually be interesting.
The creatures you see are not that outside of what you would normally see in early regions. Things like like wild cow or some creature that appears to be used as a beast of burden. It's not exactly the creatures that you're used to being filling these roles, but you can get a pretty good grasp of, yeah, okay, they have, this serves this purpose, sort of thing. There's several of them are birds, and the diversity of birds is very high. and the diversity of other species is middling. You know, you have some form of alpaca that you suspect is used for for its fur and for and for yarn and whatnot.
So, Jade, if they have early versions of cow, do you mean an auroch?
Sure.
Oh, that's terrifying. Oh god.
Yeah.
Do
or
they
extra
have any
terrifying.
like, but no like outstanding like creatures that are like the what's the panther with the illusion spells called again?
A displacer.
Displacer, yes, like something on the level of the displacer.
Inside this place of learning, they don't seem to have any large predator species here. That isn't to say they don't exist in this area, but simply to say that they don't have them taxidermed inside in this.
Yeah, I know. I was just hoping to like maybe
Yeah, it's fair.
learn like potential dangers in the future.
That's so fair. But no.
Any other suggestions?
So it's going to look to Cass and be like, Cass, you are mirror thing, yes?
Yes.
What if strange
Yes.
green things also have mirror people?
Hmm.
Could be thing to look into.
Yeah.
Like Soba just shrugs. She's like, huh?
Ooh, what about seeing the local entertainment like theater and the like?
That could be interesting.
I'm actually curious about the plays, if there are any in town.
Sure.
Oh my god, won't
Yes.
it be as bad as the Gripply, as bad as the Gripply's plays?
It
Where
is.
the Gripply's got it from?
I mean, if we go to a cheap show,
There is a play playing in the evening. By this point, I will say that it is early evening with the sun beginning to hang low in the sky. And
Mhm.
there is a play. It seems to be, if you presuming you sit and watch it, it is a fairly simple romantic comedy. It's both cute and a little trite, but not in a displeasant way. Unpleasant way. Why did I say displeasant? What the heck? It's a weird way of phrasing that. But yes, there is a romantic comedy playing, and you do learn a bit more of the culture to the point where you can ask questions about it as such. But it's a
So-
comedy of errors, and two bumbling fools find love.
so what is the? So he asked like another person right next to him. That's like one of the illusionary Gith, I guess. So what is getting? What does the pie filled with nails symbolize?
What kind of nails are you referring to?
Bronze.
Okay, just checking.
Soba does not understand the behaviors of this McNeil. Why does she simply not eat the other person?
They explain the pun where about the type of fruit and that that has a homonym with the word for nail. It's very silly.
Soba does not enjoy the comedy stylings of Adam Sandler.
I'm thinking more like Hallmark movie sort of.
I got all of that, but I think in context.
Ooh, actually, should probably see if we can find a puppet show. Those usually have the stories that they tell kids.
Just gonna post a GIF in the side chat here. Relevance of what Rodelac is doing during all this. Hold on.
Yeah,
Amazing. Hold on, I
Yeah.
gotta show this to everybody.
yeah, that's a perfect. But who would be the who would be the daughter in this group? I don't think none of us would be.
Oh, it's not playing.
Maybe polearms.
I choose to believe that because these people inspired the Griquis taste in everything,
Mm-hmm.
like, everything they do is on par with 8 Crazy Nights.
I've yet to see that movie.
You need to see it and then regret that you saw it.
Why? Don't subject him to that.
No, watch it.
Magus, you're saying that as if that's not something that's automatically up my alley.
It's
True.
so bad, and Adam Sandler plays literally half the cast, including himself.
The weird
That
part
sounds-
is that the animation is really
Wow.
good in that, though.
That
Like
actually, you know what? It's one of those rare instances where the animation is so good and that actually makes the film actively worse.
Oh no.
Oh, what's worse is like one of the only Hanukkah movies though as well. Like I feel
Yeah.
so bad like for people.
The
that
only
like,
other
want
the only
Hanukkah
other
movies.
Hanukkah thing that you can get that's even remotely close is the Rugrats Hanukkah special.
Oh my
Oh
god, yeah.
God.
Okay. Let's. It is well into evening, and the sun has set at the time that you are. That the play comes to a very sappy ending.
Oh. Classic run into airship terminals crying their name in last minute. Ugh. Hate.
Dislike.
How did he get past the TSA?
After they were armed with all those constructs.
You are a
They
bit.
crushed- Oh,
Have you been eating from your own snacks, or from? Have you had a lunch in town?
I'm having my own snacks here. Not that I wouldn't like the food that's here. I'm just pretty sure that the moment that the illusion drops, I'm gonna be starving.
Flicker,
Fair.
Reasonable.
Flicker. You know, I'm gonna say this because Flicker has the preservation bag on him at all times, so he just for sake of moments like this, he always carries like a bit of corn with him. that he just
It's the illusion corn.
No, this is corn from town, from our town.
Okay, yeah. Because you
So he just,
stockpiled
like,
a bunch for going in the swamp.
Yeah, he stockpiled them for emergency popcorn necessities, so that's what he got them for.
So valid. That's
Middle of the movie,
that's
you
just
hear
genius.
this super loud, wet crunch as Soba just bites a pickle in half slowly as she's watching.
I just like the idea that Flicker was like the noisy audience member because he kept popping corn constantly.
Oh, you're turning it into popcorn? Oh my god.
Yeah, I have flame breath.
Absolutely. So what are you doing for the evening, though, is the question.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
Wait, go ahead and raise the question.
Supposedly would cover us for lodging.
Mm-hmm.
Was what the card
So
had said.
we're gonna find a place to go.
So I was gonna raise a question. What if illusion resets when day begins? What happened?
I mean, that's a good question. So long as the town doesn't, the structures don't move or anything, we should be fine if all it does is reset. Theoretically speaking.
Mhm.
I think the only way to find out will be to wait and see.
Tell me what type of inn you go to. One was recommended, but you can obviously, choose it to be however you desire it.
So, Jade, I do have a question. Real quick.
Hello?
We were trying to. So the fruit cart that we were trying to do to mess with the guy's autism. What's that looking like now that we've been here for a while?
Yeah, has that worked out at all, or
It's still at its new location.
no guys come out to check out or anything like that?
Nothing,
Like, nobody's
nothing
been
strange.
Pathfinding into it.
If you've been watching that area, some people come out to question if it's okay for her to be there, and the workers who are working on the statue are like, no, she's out of the way, it's fine. That's if you stayed to watch, but
Okay.
Tomorrow might need to throw rock through castle window.
I will remind you that you could simply wait for the meeting with the meeting of, you do have an invitation to the castle in a day and a half.
Yeah.
Or in a day's time.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
If there's nothing else you want to do in town, we can just go to the inn and we can make that.
Are there any puppet shows?
What a puppet show.
not at an inn, but like there might be one, somewhere in town.
Well, it's like I want to see what stories they be telling the kiddos.
They're probably not going to be telling them late at night.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you got the kids that stay up late.
True.
Sorry.
The dictator is just going from house to house, looking for someone who is reading their children bedtime stories using puppets.
Yeah.
No, pretend I'm not here.
Soba helps him look. This one is telling story of ugly barnacle. Soba wonders how it ends.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
That is one ugly barnacle.
Let's move in the direction. Let's move in the direction of of lodging.
Mm-hmm.
We might as well go to a fancy one, because if it resets, then no big deal.
Well, what if it doesn't?
Then we run.
Well,
Oh, that's true. These people are dead.
we also don't have anything that they actually would accept as money. So
Well, yeah. The joke here was like he's talking about dashing and dining, basically the equivalent.
Yeah.
He's banking on it resetting tomorrow, so it's like they don't care about us.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so you're gonna go to a nicer looking place?
Yeah.
Okay. There's not a huge gap in the niceness of the places. It's not like, looking at a McDonald's versus a steakhouse. They're closer in parity, relatively. That said, you do find a place that looks like it's a bit nicer and a bit has a nice atmosphere to it.
Motel 6.
You go in and you will be greeted. Hey there! Take any seat you want. We'll be right to you.
all right, I go and sit down.
Soba takes 2 seats for obvious reasons.
You hear of high chair for babies, Soba need low chair.
She need a low ride. No.
Any carriage Soba gets in is low rider. Soba is very
Yeah,
ready.
yeah, pretty much.
What can I get you?
What's on the menu today?
Mutton, chard, it's real good. It's chard isn't the vegetable, not chard isn't cooking, to clarify.
I've never heard of chard, the vegetable.
Swiss chard?
I've
It's a thing.
genuinely never heard.
Leafy green.
Yeah, leafy green.
Yeah.
Think kale, but like not as kale, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Ah,
On a scale from 1 to kale, it's not there.
Yeah. But it's in the ballpark. It's on the list.
Yeah.
I'll take the mutton, please.
Sure thing.
Mutton. Yeah, mutton.
Mutton all around. And drinks.
Yeah, yes.
Ale's fine
Yes.
for everybody?
Yep, sounds fine to me.
Do you have any mead by any chance?
I can check. Let me see your card.
I just show him the card, I guess.
Okay. He'll pass his hand over it. Does anybody want to roll Arcana?
I guess I'll do
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
13 plus 17.
2, but I'll roll my lore instead. Haha.
Hmm.
9.
I think
So-
I'm 30 basically.
Yeah. For anything else?
Okay, I'll have the ale then.
All right. You guys need lodgings for the night, or do you have that settled elsewhere?
Yes, please.
Yes, we would like some lodging.
Okay. Well, with this card, we don't have the finer rooms available. I'm sorry. We can offer you a commons room, but you've got 5 people here, so we can just give you one room and call it commons. That's fine for us.
It's fine by me.
Okay. Upstairs, second on the left. If you care to have a key, let us know. Otherwise, the door latches. And we'll bring out some mutton soon.
Okay.
He waddles off back to the kitchen. Starts. The smell of mutton is already permeating the air.
And he waddle away, waddle, and he waddle away. Waddle.
No.
Got any mutton?
You do get mutton. It is good. It does actually have flavor, which is I think the most relevant thing to you guys right now.
Mutton now with flavor.
Yeah, right. Imagine that. And
Dave, have you played Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail?
not Dawn Trail now.
All right. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah, okay.
I was sensing an inspiration there,
Ah,
but
okay.
No, I played vanilla,
yeah.
and I mean vanilla.
Uh-huh.
You can definitely spend some time speaking amongst yourselves, and you can take your room as you desire it. I'll wait for you to be ready for me to lead you in the morning, whenever.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Silva is going to look to her and be like, so how far ahead is Almanac compared to where we are right now?
I refer to the almanac and use my that's odd to see if anything's
How much-
been out of place.
How much almanac is? How many years does an almanac tend to cover? It's usually like what, a couple decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Yeah. You're pretty close to, you're within the first third. It's, as I said before, somewhere in the 600s, right? So,
So Silva's going to look to the rest of the party and go, okay, so if we want to get attention of weird ancient gift that is making this all happen, what if we start giving all of the people here spoilers?
I feel like that would cause more problems before our solution would bear fruit.
But if we were to go to someone and be like, hey, tomorrow it's going to be sunny with a humidity of 35, and then tomorrow it's exactly that, he's gonna be like, how did you know?
The question
just
is,
give them spoilers.
well, first we have to establish that it's not a reset scenario. So we have to wait and see.
also with sharks. It's
Yeah.
like, if it's not, though, it would be a good idea.
I mean, if you want to break this, do you want to break it?
Soba likes breaking things.
I mean, same, but we don't know what will happen when this one breaks.
I mean,
yeah, well, it breaks. It's not real. It's not like it's going to hurt Soba or friends.
It's
And
real
even if it
magic.
could hurt Soba, Soba dares to try.
I don't know. This illusionary mutton is pretty tasty.
If the
Yeah,
illusion
but I
turned
bet
off,
it's
it's
not
probably a
terribly
cat.
filling.
At this
Well, that
time,
would
it feels
help.
filling. How's that for a fun answer?
Well,
Far as
if
you're
anything,
aware, it's filling.
well,
Yeah,
if
right.
anything, I had popcorn earlier, so.
Popcorn counts as a meal. I count that as a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's every food group.
Also, the idea of just like spoiling things for the, I don't know. It'd be like, you know, like if you were to go into like a recording of a TV show and be like, hey, in the next week you're going to have to jump over a shark tank, Fonzie. Good luck.
I hope this
That-
campaign
that
hasn't
is-
jumped the shark.
Not really, if I'm being honest.
I
The only
appreciate
thing that regularly keeps jumping the shark is us stopping whatever we're doing to discuss historical minutia.
which honestly I'm so here for.
That
Yeah,
being the
that's
case, we are at that point for me where I'm like, okay, I have not had any leads for a little while, and I'm starting to get a little stir crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you wake up in the morning, you can head over to the castle because that's the one area that you haven't visited yet.
Yeah, I assume that was going to be our next bet, but with the amount of guards that were in the front, I assumed that was not going to be as much of an option.
Oh, right. You can. I mean, yeah, no, that's fine. you could at least try if you want. Anyways, you sleep well. The beds are comfy, and as these are solid illusions, the beds are in fact comfy.
The
When I say two beds,
next
there's
morning,
admittedly some of you will probably have to sleep on the floor, but you know.
the next morning, Soap was going to borrow the almanac, hand it to Cass, and be like, "Go do a crime." Because 1, Soba can't read. 2, Soba knows that Cass will use this power for evil. Soba wants to see it break down from someone getting something spoiled for them.
You in the morning, the innkeeper does greet you with a morning, sleep well, and just to immediately give you the that indication that it is not a reset scenario, basically.
Okay.
I think
That
Okay.
theory has been
Yeah, I
tested.
look up what's supposed to happen today.
fair weather, lightly cloudy.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Soba.
Yeah.
I don't think this is earth-shattering stuff here.
Like, is there any like rainstorms or anything? Like in the next few days.
Sure, but that's not uncommon. It's a coastal. It's a
Yeah,
a
it's
coastal
gonna be
city.
It's gonna be a situation where I go outside and say, "It is going to rain." They look at the approaching storm and say, "Yeah."
Probably.
Okay. Okay. Like if you people over things like it is going to rain at exactly 4:24 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Then it's
My
gonna
nick.
stop. Then it's gonna stop for 15 minutes, and then it's gonna rain again, and then for another like 2 hours, and then it's gonna stop for another 5 minutes. And then it's gonna.
I
continue.
didn't think this threw it up. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
No, it's fine. This is good.
It's actually perfect.
Honestly,
Dang
it does. It does lead into a real as a funny punchline.
Why did we have to come back to a time where nothing happens? I hate filler episodes.
If you would like, trust me, this is very much not that. But if you would like a gentle push,
That's Soba doing that like in universe.
yeah,
Sorry.
okay. If you want a would you like a gentle push?
Yeah.
Oh.
The castle's right
You
there.
have a good-
I did enjoy our day in the town though.
there is a castle right there, but I bet there's a hot spring right next to it.
Oh, hot spring
No.
episode.
The hot spring is in the castle.
The castle looked a bit inaccessible with the entire road blocked by guards with shields and swords raised and people with crossbows on the wall.
Yeah, sorry. That's on me for not deleting the unnecessary models off the set. I just left it because it was a castle sort of thing, you know. But
God, that
Yeah, it's okay.
I mean-
It's just
I
I
mean,
think
yeah,
that's
guards.
where all of us mentally assumed that we couldn't go there right away.
well, I think that it was better to spend the day in town anyways. I think that was very enjoyable, roleplay wise.
Agreed.
There were just a whole bunch of guards standing there yesterday.
Sure,
They
why
just
not?
do that sometimes.
They just do that sometimes.
the guy who's running this illusion, he's not very good at game design, so he's like, okay, I can't just put an invisible wall here.
Yeah, just
I'm
put a
going
bunch
to
of
put an
cards.
I'm going to put an old man who really wants coffee in the middle of the road that you can't go around for some reason.
Yeah, I already put an invisible wall around the city itself, so that's what kind of already happened, right? At any rate, do tell me.
I would. No, sorry, Jade. I was gonna say something stupid. Go for it.
No, I'm waiting for you guys to say the magic word.
Oh, we go to the castle.
Hey,
Yeah.
there it is.
But if we did want to mess with this guy, something we could do is we could turn his main plot progress episode of his favorite show. We could just turn it into a filler episode by all going to the hot spring.
I mean, by accident, we have created a filler episode by us hyperfixating on, there might be a mystery to be had within the town, and every single one of
That's
us is
true.
like, all right, we'll figure something out.
This has happened
Oh,
many
that's
times
right.
in this campaign, and I've loved it every single time. And that's been some of my favorite moments of the campaign. To be so
The
honest,
hot
that's
springs are inside the castle also, so we just have to go in there.
Yes, at the same time,
yeah.
sometimes I might need just get on with it.
Trust me,
fair enough.
trust me. We have time left in this episode for big things to happen. So let's get on with it.
Getting
Get
on with it.
on with it.
You approach the castle. There is a guard out front. He looks tired. Not like, oh, I hate my job tired, but I spent the night gambling too much tired.
Oh, he's been betting on the groupies.
What's your business?
We're here for immigration.
Although we had a meeting.
I believe we had a meeting scheduled for later
We have a
today.
meeting scheduled for later. We actually have an appointment with inside.
Yeah, we're the
Yeah.
the 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, who's it with?
Uh, screw it. Recall knowledge. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
No, that's fine.
It's been a while.
It has. Are you looking for Grigor Saleh, the Chancellor, or Gerard Kierkegaard, the good king?
I can't remember.
Or-
dude. I don't think the
I
king's
don't-
here,
yeah,
are they? Isn't this an
This is-
outpost or something? This is not the
No,
main
this-
palace,
No,
is it?
This is the main gal. This is Callis, the city on the hill.
Okay, sorry. I'm.
Okay, fine. No, this is the capital.
I'd say we're here to see the Chancellor. That sounds like it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to make a
Um,
persuasion roll?
Yes, please. Nice.
Here to see the good
thank
king.
God.
No,
30.
I'm here to see the kind of okay king, actually.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You look the part. Go ahead and head in. You know your way? Have you been here?
We'll make our way. Yes, you sound like you could use a good rest anyway, so don't worry about us.
You know what? On a day like today, I'm not worrying about much. Go ahead. Actually, it's because you rolled that persuasion, just to clarify.
Hands him a pickle, old hag over a cure.
So, as you go in, you can see these different buildings. Obviously, the castle is much larger than this, and this is done as an abstraction. But just as abstraction, this is not supposed to... Why is there a skeleton there? That's not supposed to be a jail. That was supposed to be rooms. Oh well. Chancellor's office is going...
I mean, it is a room of a sword.
It is. Slightly more manacles than I had intended.
Just think of it as an open office design.
To the left would be the office, the Chancellor's office. Ahead would be guards. To the right would be the throne room. If somebody would like to make any checks about the area or the magic around here, you may feel free to.
I trigger. That's odd.
Mm-hmm.
What's odd about the room, or do I need to make a perception roll?
No. You just need to say the words, magic words, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is not a lot of hustle and bustle. Most capital buildings and castles that you've been to, there's always a courier. There's always a whole bunch of activity. There's always a bunch of nobles bickering or courtiers making snide comments in corners. This is the capital. This is the throne room. But it feels pastoral. It feels calm, which is odd for your experience with such buildings. Very few guards posted inside as well, although a few are just walking the halls. Most are not even armed.
Okay. So yeah, they seem pretty complacent about how the situation is here. So we're looking for the Chancellor and looking for strangeness, right? He turns over to the others and thinks for a second and says, "Shot in the dark, but how much you want to bet that that our old Gith fellow might actually be the Chancellor?"
You think he would give himself supporting character role?
I thought what you were suggesting was that it's actually him.
Oh.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't think you would see himself as the supporting character here.
At the same time, he's been a supporting character for most of his life, and now without the good king, there's an absence of purpose with all of that. Perhaps he might have been perhaps with this illusion he might be leveraging a little bit of more importance, more value, now that the king is gone.
Could be. Shall we go and talk to him?
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be as good an opportunity as any, because I don't think the good king would be doing the illusions for this or whatever. We probably would have seen a lot more of his presence by then, and he doesn't seem like he'd be the kind of person, based on what I'm reading here, that would want to live in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
Good king seems more like real life detective fiction person for so.
So we go on in.
Yep.
Going to the throne room?
Mm-hmm.
The throne room is ornate, beautifully decorated with wall tapestries, long eating tables, and a bright ornate dais with with what would be considered a fairly humble throne, made if you didn't see all the details in the craftsmanship as perfect. Sitting in the throne is what appears at first glance to be a mummy or corpse. There are the tatters and rags of clothes long worn. The body lies with its head in the crook of its elbow, on the resting on the arm of the chair. Clattered on the ground a little ways away lies a crown.
Well, that's unusual.
Soba leans into Road lightly like, did the book say that king was made of beef jerky?
Silva.
I
Soba.
think I dissociated through a good chunk of that. All I got was the crown on the ground.
Throw it on the ground.
There's an old mummy guy there.
I believe that old mummy is the king.
Well, we haven't asked him yet.
I turn over to Cass.
Pretty certain the
Soba
answer
has
is
question, are you king?
Soba, why are you so small?
I don't know,
Soba-
why am I so small?
Soba, Cass, occult.
Yes.
Do I have a cult? I do. I've got really good occult.
Oh, send it.
Ooh.
Oh god, I'm just...
Although I think Cass just nailed it.
Yeah, I got an
Yeah.
18. I got an 18. So Cass got like 19 naturally. Jesus.
I got a 15, but okay.
33.
Cass, what was that?
33.
Yeah, that'll do. It is very, very, very slight. But there is still thanaturgic energy in that body.
Hmm.
Jerky, man.
Like a whisper in a windstorm.
Wait, what's thanaturgy?
Necromantic
Death
energy.
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Is he your image?
You know what I'm gonna do?
Hmm.
I'm gonna do a perception check here on this one.
Mm-hmm. For?
Just to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 14 with, I guess would it be Arcana or Lore? For
What's the question?
Is this illusion the king's dream?
Bravo.
Yay.
We are in the good king's dream.
You are in a
Right.
time of... You are in a time of peace. Yeah, Soba?
You know what I'm about to say?
Hmm?
We'll be hearing from Doonget's lawyers.
Hmm?
This is the exact
Oh.
plot of the last arc of my campaign.
I mean, I wrote this like 4 years... No, more than that.
I
wrote this
know,
like...
I know. I just found it really funny. I'm not actually... Like,
No,
I
it's
just thought it
fair.
was really funny.
It's also going to play out wildly different than that. I hadn't even made the connection genuinely. Like, having played that campaign at that point, wildly different, but...
Yeah.
So I'm
No,
gonna.
I did. Thought it was funny.
yeah.
Rodolak walks forward over towards the skeleton of the king, and looks around
Mummy.
at the rest of the mummy. Sorry, the mummy of the king.
It's a relevant difference. That's sorry, I just
I
wanted to...
understand.
Where is
Skeletonize.
King's daddy?
Skeletonize him.
He strokes his chin and says, I'm going to use Aura Sight on this king. On the mummy.
Hold on, let me pull up the wording of that if I can find it. Just give me a sec here.
I'm allowed to read the emotional state as well as the opinions of a person in the that I have an aura sight on.
I'm just going to take a quick moment to... You must focus on a single living target without blinking for 1 minute.
Oh,
The
he's
definition
he's
of
not living.
the definition of living is stretched to a breaking point here. Yeah.
Well, the magic is still emanating off them to create this illusion, correct?
Yes. So you can determine the aptitude, their emotional state, and a assessment of the physical health, which is the part that I find very interesting. And even says you might need to succeed at an occultism check. I want you to roll that occultism check right now.
Okay. That is a 32.
Torpedo, torpedo.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Nice. So, you are able to get a read on the state of its own devices. A lich can never really die in the conventional sense until they're until phylactery is broken or such and such. But a lich has no expiration date. That does not mean that there's a limit on their energy. That does not mean that there's not a limit on their power. This is effectively dormant. This is a husk of what was once a lich, sitting in a chair, with no real conscious thought beyond a dream of times when things were good.
I look over at Soba
Mm-hmm.
and I say, I have multiple terrible ideas.
Are we gonna eat the mummy?
No!
Where did this come from?
Historically,
Where?
I mean.
Yeah, historically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not British.
I mean, you kind of are of
What
the
are
whole
we-
party, right?
We kind of are, actually.
Let's see, colonizers from another land come here trying to impose their morals on the societies that have already been established here for hundreds of years. Yeah, we are very British.
Yeah.
I meant Flickr specifically as, with inspiration and whatnot, but yeah, I mean...
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, that's
that's
fair. Okay,
Though
that's
to
fair.
be
Let
fair-
me, let me at him. Let me at
Though to be
him.
fair, each culture here has maintained its independence and, but yeah, I get it.
Probably could make Rodelac more British if you boiled him. Anyway.
I would-
Christ, that one's a slug.
I would love
Right?
to hear your terrible ideas.
So first terrible. So he pulls out like a small like little tiny chalkboard, and he's like, "All right, idea number one." And I'm going to be going up the scale in increasing bad ideas here. Idea number one: we dispel the remnants of the necrotic energy to let him have his peace and move on. Now, doing so could potentially affect the necrotic magic as well as the magic of the Modrons and the Kenku. Not sure how long this has been going on for a little while, but that's why I consider it to be the least bad of my bad ideas. Idea number
boy.
2. Soma, how offended would you be if we tapped into a ritual to allow us to communicate with the good king and ask him a couple of questions about his kingdom and what has become of it?
Soba's gonna scowl and be like, not Soba's first choice.
Hence why this was choice number 2.
Soba's gonna can Soba recommend a thing?
I have one last one, and then I would love to hear your idea. Choice number 3. We do have a scroll of greater wish. Bringing them back, and potentially restoring them of their lichdom, might allow us to develop a better understanding of the kingdom, might be able to find a logical conclusion of what has become of the Gripply. And the good king did say that there was a time of prosperity. And we'd be able to better see about trying to dispel the strange magic barrier between the other realms and the other places in the world and this one.
Sprig, could you check your DM for a second? Sorry.
Or he might go completely insane at the knowledge that his beloved kingdom is completely destroyed, and is now mostly a swamp.
We'll be bringing him back to a world where everything he knew, he's Ozymandias.
Oh god.
Not to say that this necessarily changes the plans, but Cece has the crown in her hands. This seems a little bit worthy of notice, and taps a finger on the fist-sized Gripply gem set in the center of the crown.
He looks at it and says, this would be, on one hand, yes, the Lich King coming back and seeing this kingdom ravaged is one thing, but on the other, he's entering a new epoch of his kingdom where he could be able to lead the Gripply to prosperity. And, dare I say, maybe even the Kenku. This might be the bridge between those two cultures.
Vodalak, recall knowledge.
Yeah, okay. I did say this was a list of increasingly terrible ideas.
I want to be clear, I am fully on board. This is a terrible idea.
That's a nat
let's
20.
do it.
That's a nat 20.
Nice.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this or drop it in hints. I'm not going to be coy about this. You recall that the Kenku is a necroarchal society that worships the oldest lich in their culture.
Yep.
Yeah, so they would follow him automatically, basically.
Yeah.
Which
Very
is
good, King.
very good if we know what that means. So again, let's do it.
This is information that you knew about, have known about the Kenku,
yes.
but admittedly it's been a very long time.
It has been a very long time, but he says, all right, but look, consider this. By doing this, we would restore the oldest lich in the Kenku's eyes. They would follow him without question. And he's wearing a crown of Gripply stones, which would be quite possibly the greatest wish that the Gripply could have ever wanted. A proper guiding hand for their society. The two sides of the Gith Empire brought together in a new age of harmonious peace that we could also talk with and help flourish and so on and so forth, all of those things.
Is anybody not on board with this?
I have some reservations.
Soba, you said you had an idea.
Yes.
Is
this
it
guy-
smashed?
No, it's not. So, I can subjugate undead creatures.
Not liches. Not a lich that is so
Yeah.
powerful that it's unconsciously doing this.
Okay, but
Yeah, I was.
hang on. I would like to make an argument. I would
But
like
hear
to
me
make
out.
An argument. This guy is so zooted. He is so out of it that all he is able to do is dream. Jade,
Hi.
creatures that are unconscious can't resist save effects.
That
I am now thinking of a hypothetical.
Certain-
By the rules, but probably not gonna work for this.
technically true by the rules, however, that does not surpass immunities.
Yeah,
I-
that's fair.
I was actually about to say, like, I'm now thinking of the ridiculous hypothetical of waiting for someone to go to sleep to poison them in case their immune system wasn't paying attention.
That's so funny. I love that.
We'll,
No,
we'll attack.
okay,
We'll attack the sun at night. That's the logic.
alright.
I say we bring him back.
Okay.
Heck, we might not even need the wish. He might just need some necromantic energy.
We might only need to return the crown to his head.
Okay.
So-
Maybe we should try and ask him those questions before we do anything that might actually revive him.
So yeah, so the actual thing, if I can subjugate him, since like the subjugation thing was out, it was gonna be like, hey, is this a thing that I could? Because someone would know whether she could do it or not.
Right. Yeah. This would outclass you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, could I try and commune with him? Like mentally make contact, like you know.
That was my second idea.
Yeah, like Soba just like commune with him, like meditation, like seance shit. So like that way
Right.
he can only say anything, he can't like do anything in case he's malicious.
Right now, the energy is far too weak to be able to do that.
Okay. What if I use the spooky ingot?
Hey.
The tibium?
No,
Nope.
the
No,
spooky
the
ingot.
spooky ingot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the one we got from the cart.
It's
Yeah,
an
like
ingot
if
of
Soba used it,
spookium.
if Soba used it as a necromantic focus to basically amplify his signal without getting him up.
I wonder how pissed the mayor is going to be when we come back. He's like, hey, we restored the Lich King. We broke in peace between the Kenku and the Gripply. We now have a super empire that we're negotiating things with now. I hope that's okay.
That's cool,
Oh, no,
right?
Soba still thinks we should Soba still thinks we should like destroy them. Like, you know, necromancy is bad. Like, but like at the very least, like if this Soba's opinion of this guy, if he is a good person, right? Just like the Soba's motives here. If he is a good person, he will recognize that both the Kenku and by extension him, because he allowed it to happen, are abominations and need to go. That is Soba's current thought process. Is like
well,
if he's a
insight-
good person, he will. Insight's not a thing.
I know. Roll whatever stat you would like to represent insight. I mean, that's how we've been doing all the rolls, right?
Oh, okay. I will say that I will roll that as Soba's. God, I don't know. Also, I'll roll that as Soba's occultism, I guess, because it's like,
Okay.
yeah, because Soba's morality is, like conditioned by the fact that she was raised as a necromancer. That is a 14.
Okay, just wondering. In that case.
Um,
No reason.
yeah. Soba has heard that he is a good person, but she wants to basically talk to him and be like, hey, are you actually a good person? Would you help us destroy what you've brought?
Well, we can ask him.
Soba's gonna pull out the spooky ingot and place it on the floor
Mm-hmm.
and just go like, all right, Soba is about to do a seance. Everyone hold hands.
Okay.
Okay.
Flickers. This could be whoever. Why is your hand so sweaty? He asks whoever's hand that is.
I have a condition.
Of course.
Oh my God.
That condition being it's not real sweat.
Yeah.
That raises more questions. So, you are going to attempt to tap into the necromantic energy of the ingot for yourself to power this. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, so basically, like, I'm not giving the guy power. I'm basically using the ingot as, like, an amplifier to, like, try and, like, you know, like, boost his signal a little bit.
A necromantic
talk with him.
stethoscope, if you will.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
The energy coming from the mummy is almost too faint to really register, other than that you can now very clearly see what you have already figured out, that this is the source of the illusion emanating from the body. And the information that you gain is that this is a time of peace. This is a time of pride. A time of peace is a time of pride. It's the emotion that you feel, not any conscious thought.
I'm going to try and, like, push the, like, basically, like, the Soba's gotta, like, just kind of, like, think, like she's understand, like, he's like, basically communicating through, like, images. She's going to push, like, the thoughts of, like, all of the interactions with the Kenku and how they're abusing and attacking the Gripply. Like, she's gonna try and, like, push that through, be like, hey, look over here, like, this is what's actually happening. Like, look what you've done.
That's a little bit too high level for what the king is currently capable of in his current condition.
I can't just think loudly at him?
No, that's... it's...
I mean, you can think at him, but there might not be enough of him to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
She can thunk all she wants.
Yes.
Oh.
You can get some information which I have given you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little more like he's in a coma and fully unconscious and unresponsive.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just that his dream is leaking out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one of those
That's a
fun
perfect
moments
description,
where
Svig,
can
thank you.
Shout things at people. Okay. Like, so we need to wake him up without giving him the juice he would need to vaporize us if he does turn out to be an asshole.
Okay, so I reach into my pocket and I pull out some of the Gripply gems. I've got some smaller ones.
That might work.
Okay. I take one and I crush it over him.
Oh, you actually, like, crush and powder it over him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Visibly, the red dust turns to white and then clear and then fades. You can feel that the energy has been absorbed. It is still very thin, but you do feel that has worked.
Going to think a greeting at him, see if I can, like, actually get a response.
You did that for, like, a handful of them or whatever? Koss?
Yeah, until I start talking to him. If he starts responding in any way, I'm gonna see if that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
So keep putting him on. Yeah.
Soba, you can interrupt this at any point, but as you do more of this, the skin very slowly begins to soften and begins to reshape closer to that of, well, a healthy Gith in their early 200s.
Soba's gonna let this go until she gets let cast continue until he either runs out of gems or she gets a response back.
Okay. I'm going to give you guys the narrative option here.
Mm-hmm.
You can wake the king up right now by adding more gems. If you want to keep him snowed, that's going to require several checks, I guess.
Okay, what do you mean by snowed?
Yeah.
Sorry, in medical terms, when snowing somebody is when you give them a bunch of drugs so they go to sleep and stop bothering the night shift.
Oh,
Ah,
Sorry, I'm good friends with the nurse.
I've just never heard that term before.
Same.
That's fair.
Alright.
Within legal capacity and the doctor's orders, of course.
What I'm going to do is, let's see, what are some of my experimentations here? Oh yeah, I'm going to reactivate one of my experiments because I already solved the Roman candle.
Right.
And I'm going to reactivate the Gripply experiment because this is in relation to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to attempt and would this be lore, perception, or occultism to determine if I know enough about the king after the liching that I would be able to discern that he would continue to be he was still a good person after all the stuff that happened.
I would call that a lore check, honestly, because that's
Okay.
based on the almanac, that's based on the stories, that's based on the legends, that's based
All right.
on all the study that you've done directly. So I would call that lore directly.
I know that this is something that I probably should know as a player, but we've had like so many swaths of like I feel like that my character has built up enough of an understanding of this
Absolutely.
character to make this call.
I agree.
So I get a plus 15 to this check with this being in relation to my experiment with my investigation. I'm going to attempt right now. That is a 20. Sorry, that is a 24. I could roll higher if the rest of you think I should. You want me to try re-rolling it?
I think just a gold.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, so what do I add? Like a D4?
D4. A gold is adding a D4 to any roll
Okay.
after you make the roll. It's the after you make the roll part that makes the gold so valuable, you know?
Mhm.
Okay, that is a 11 plus 15, so that's a 26.
It was exactly the right choice, Sprig.
Yay.
Thank you, Sprig.
Yay.
Was the good king still good after he was liched?
Yes. The good king was a good king. After he was liched, he still had the respect of his people, and even right now, right before you, his treasured memory that he is reliving is one where he was successful at creating a peaceful and prosperous society.
After a moment, I look at Soba and I said, Soba, give me the scroll.
Soba is like a little bit uncomfortable, but like she'll do as he said because she
You-
trusts you not to do something stupid, and
Fe-
she'll
well,
like unscrew her pommel and hand it to you.
I mean, feel free to, like, give me a little bit of pushback on this scene, because this, like, I could give
Yeah.
you my reasoning for it.
Yeah. Okay. So Soba does trust you, but she like her thing is like, she is unscrewing the pommel, but her number one thing is she'll say is like, King may have been good when he first became a lich, but not all liches stay the same. Immortality does things to people.
Soba, look around you. This king had no other thought in his mind than the most prosperous moment of boredom that you could have for the kingdom. the only thing that this king had really sought for in his life and his unlife was peace. So much so that he managed to will that dream into a temporary reality here at his weakest. The rest of this new world has limped on without his guidance, at least with the Gripply and the Kenku. We have an opportunity to bring this mystery to its conclusion for the benefit of almost everyone here. And at the very least,
If I may interject a moment at least.
Mm-hmm.
We've already seen with the scientific method that the Gripply stones seem to be having a clear effect. I don't think that we need to use the wishing scroll for this specifically.
Yeah, she's got the crown. Why don't we try the crown?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the crown does have Gripply stones on it. Yeah, so that would. Actually...
It has
Yeah.
a gigantic one like the size of a fist.
Do you want me to put it on there? It might be a little easier for me to reach.
All right. Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah.
So it just starts re-scrolling, re-sealing like the pommel.
It might be
goes-
better to save our one fail-safe in case something goes wrong.
Yeah,
rather than
if he
using
does
it to
turn out to be
turn
a
it back.
bastard, yeah.
Yeah,
If he
let's
does turn
let's
out to be a bastard, we can use the wish to kill him.
I mean,
Yeah.
hear me out here. I was planning on using the scroll not to bring back the Lich's power, but rather to restore the king to the life that he had before he was liched. Give him a second chance at a mortal life as the good king. It would also, though, at the same time, he says, stroking his chin a little bit, having a lich on, being able to negotiate with a lich to assist us with the whole Modron situation might actually be of help too. But I think it's a secondary problem.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the Kenku also, yeah.
Thank you.
Soba will say, use the Gripply rocks. If he turns out to be bad, then we shall destroy him with the scroll. If he is truly a good person, then he will submit to destruction once the Kenku are gone.
And the kobolds.
And also the kobolds, those bastards!
No, not the kobolds.
And he looks at it as he's still like holding the scrolls, and he folds his arm a little bit and says, there is a hypothetical I'd like to walk through with you, Soba. What if they come to their conclusion, have what's best in mind for the Gripply and the Kenku, that doesn't involve them immediately sacrificing themselves? What if they decide that they don't want to they don't want to die?
Soba does not wish to die, but it will happen. Wanting to die is irrelevant. Death will happen. Most Kenku have already died. They just stick around.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that you are doing this under the assumption that the good king will willingly pass on once he accomplishes our short-term goal, instead of continuing to live as king of both of these sides.
She kind of just frowns and she just goes like, Soba has seen what happens when society relies too heavily on necromancy.
I'm aware.
It never turns out well.
I'm aware. But this is the first time I've ever seen a lich maintain their moral center after they've been brought back.
May
you
I
have to admit that's. So, go ahead, Jade.
just to remind of one plot point from the past, because you did discover, you did figure this out in that session where you, Pepe Sylvia boarded the entire situation.
What?
So you may recall the letters from the Chancellor to the King, which you discovered were about the Great Procession.
Yes.
Where is it? I will not take the lives of any of my sons, nor will I take the lives of my people. Was the words penned in that message.
So to conclude what I had said on that one, you have to admit that is unprecedented, even for undead. And as frustrating to no end as it is, from my experiences in the Department of Happenstances, there have been many exceptions to the rule. In this
Soba's,
life and the next.
Visibly grinding her teeth.
I've already put the crown back on his head.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
The Gripply gem.
One last,
Hmm?
one last, like, real quick, like
Mhm.
fucking, like before he starts moving. I was going to say, and what if this good king, and like good with the most aggressive, like verbal
Mhm.
quote, approves of what stupid birds do, abusing Gripply for power.
Well, then your
And
purpose
then-
is as the magic is slowly starting to come back in the Lich's eyes and all in the Good King's eyes and stuff, and he turns back and he says, "Well, then that has not changed your mission any less. If it did, if it did."
Looks back to the mummy, sees it moving. Fuck!
The Gripply crown jewel fades from deepest red to white to clear and then shatters. The Good King's complexion goes from that of a mummy to that of a young man in his prime. The Good King...
Just at the very last part before he completely comes back, I'm going to stand beside Soba as we watch this happen, and he says, I'll be there all the same, ready for you to tell me I told you so."
Soba is going to hire a clown.
The Good King opens his eyes, looks around, blinks a few times, and rubs the sleep out of them. As he awakens, the dream fades, and you are now in a crumbled and crushed building. Pieces of stone from the ceiling have already landed onto the floor, and the sunlight coming through the ceiling shines on a remnant of a once beautiful tapestry, now reduced to shreds and shards from the ravages of time. The Good King takes in what he sees, falls to the ground, and begins to cry. This is where we will end for the night.
I have
Oh, no.
one last thing can I do before that
Sure,
happens?
okay.
Diplomacy roll for first impression of where we go to is out of empathy and emotional support. That is a 30. I walk over, I very delicately rest a hand on his shoulder, and I offer him some water.
I was waiting for the. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
It's too soon. Too soon for that's rough, buddy.
Okay, 'cause I was feeling it right then.
Beautiful. That is where I want to call it for today, though, because that is just such a poetically beautiful place to end on. Thank all of you. Soba, that was exactly the conversation that I had hoped to hear out of your character. more or less
I was-
from the moment I heard your character concept. I'm like, this is going to be such a good moment.
That's why I wanted to throw it to Soba during that whole
Mm-hmm.
bit, because I'm like, okay, this discussion needs to happen.
Yeah, and like from my perspective as the DM, this is what this was written for Soba in a lot of ways, right? This is like Soba's moment to shine of this question of what does this mean and what is my relationship to this? Like this is that was beautiful. Thank you genuinely for being my players, all of you.
I
So
just want to say though, like this good cake is gonna have to be real good, like cause like one good lich, like with Soba's history, like one good lich does not excuse like all of them. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's I don't think that was ever going to be a position where that Rodelac was going to suggest. At the same time, this is very much a clear exception to the norm that we have to, at the very least, acknowledge.
My opinion is that we are so lousy with liches that we would need some kind of real way to get rid of liches that we presently do not have.
yeah.
We got to scroll a Greater Wish.
Okay.
And I know it's more of like it doesn't necessarily speak to their character very much, but one of Cece's teachers when she was in university was a lich. Was something that we had brought up before.
Yeah, I remember that. Ah,
So not necessarily every lich is seeking world domination.
but that doesn't matter
really
because
want-
it's about
some
Soba's
really want some
perspective on the
books.
world. Like
Yes, exactly.
it's about Soba's worldview and how that both is confirmed and changed
How
through
it's
various
relevant in
events.
this session.
Mm-mm-mm. It's almost like all of your characters have different emotional arcs and journeys. Isn't that weird?
like it's kind of also like why like with Soba, like I've gone out of my way to be like she's from like a completely like different culture to the rest of the
Yeah.
party, so like I try and like have that like play into it.
Yep.
And I've tried to reword that and keep that relevant because I know for a while you were concerned about your contribution to the party, but you were yeah. We all appreciate you. This played out basically as I had hoped that it would in my imagination of how it could go. That was great. And as far as the whole filler episode thing, I'm like, we got time because there's a real important plot beat coming up. Don't worry, don't you worry.
No, like that was. But I would never like say that like hey Jade, this is a fucking filler. But like no, like that was literally Soba talking in character.
No, I know it's so good.
Yeah,
but
my concern is sometimes like if I've noticed that as a player, one of my problems if you give me too much freedom, I will spin my wheels until the rubber has been worn to the bone.
yeah, but the thing is, I really value that. From my perspective, I want that because, like, Lord of the Rings is built on the stories of people talking during their travels, not on the conflicts and the battles. You know, a good story is important to. In a good story, the quiet moments where people are talking and coming together can be more important than the giant set pieces. So you're right. You can absolutely spin your wheels for multiple episodes, and those are some of my favorite times we've gotten together. All of you.
I mean, listen. One of my favorite moments in the CRPGs is when I get to see the characters interacting with one another, and going to a cafe and talking about their weird things that they're into. Ooh, that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
I once had an entire like session of Cyberpunk where like they didn't even get to the point where they were talking to their fixer. It was literally just like they opened up in a bar and it was the entire thing was just them talking about like in-universe pop stars for like an hour.
That's amazing. Like, genuinely, yeah, I love that. Like
Yeah,
my
and then I
favorite.
just made a gunfight happen at the end of the session, but like
Sure. Like my favorite session that we've had of this entire campaign is the one of you guys just spending the entire time sitting in a bar, figuring out all these hints in
Oh,
real
God,
time.
All right, I'm sitting everyone down and we are flow charting this conspiracy.
It was the Red Yarn episode.
It really was, and like unironically, that's my favorite. That's my favorite episode that we've done this entire time, because that was just purely everything that I had planned. You guys recognizing the connections and going, oh, wait, she thought of this.
I was just enjoying the town. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
No, you were there for that. You had fun with that one. I liked it. It was good. You're all wonderful and beautiful.
Not you.
The irony, the funny of me being a tourist in a fantasy town. Meanwhile, I'm a tourist in a town somewhere
True.
else as well.
Honestly, as far as like the town of Callis itself, yeah, when the illusion fades, you people who ate and relied on their trusted their stomach are hungry. I mean, that's yeah. You were sustained by the food, but but it is not now. There wasn't a whole lot in town that you particularly missed, and anything that you missed, you can talk with the king about in the next episode. Like, yeah, like that was one thing I was a little bit thinking of, like, well, if they spend too much time in town, are they going to actually, engage with, like how much of it is going to become immediately redundant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't like have any major plot or story beats in the town, because like you knew it was an illusion going in.
I love the idea that we're talking about like the Chancellor, and then we walk, and then I'm saying, oh yeah, what's the likelihood that we're gonna run into the good king at all? Open store. Oh.
There's what's left of it. And like honestly, you could have gone to the Chancellor. Like that would have been an option. Oh, I will say this though. Actually, there is one misconnection that I'll point out, just because I had thought about it.
Mm.
If you had looked for the well, if you had looked for that secret lab that you guys had learned about that was in the well, it would have been that would not have been affected by the dream, because the king did not know about it.
Didn't know about it yet.
Mm-hmm. So that would have been a place that was outside of the illusion, in a little pocket there. That just because that can't happen now, I'm okay telling you guys it.
Yeah. Alrighty, I gotta get some dinner.
Cut content, as some might say.
Yeah, exactly. That. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all. This has genuinely been a delight. I'm so happy we got to this part. So much has been building up to this, and I'm happy with how it went. And I hope that you guys are as happy as I am.
Oh yes, very much so.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 2 weeks for something exciting and dynamic.
Oh man, exciting and dynamic. Oh jeez. Oh god.
man.
I mean,
Oh,
not
man,
at the same
we're
time,
spoiled.
obviously. That's asking too much. But there will be excitement and there will be drama. So there'll be okay.
Oh, I was expecting dynamism.
Oh, okay. Good night, friends.
Are we doing dynamis?
Probably. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
kind of. Wait a minute. Hold on. Well, I'll get back to you on that one. Okay. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
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 Bye, you.